About 1,000 years ago, some nasty creatures from a dark abyss crawled into our world. Right around that same time, though, mysterious glowing stones started popping up, giving humanity a fighting chance. These stones granted people incredible powers, allowing them to finally push back against the bizarre monsters that had overrun their lands. After a whole lot of grinding and leveling up, humans managed to shove the creatures back into that dark abyss and finally reclaim their territory. Ever since, the nation's capital was established around a cluster of 9 of these special stones. Every year, they hold an awakening ceremony to pick new protectors from the ranks of high school students. At the 53rd annual awakening ceremony in Lintian City's Stone Sector, a teacher is reminding the students that those creepy crawlies are still stirring down in the black abyss. He rallies the students, telling them they're the ones who need to get strong enough to seal the monsters away for good. With a dramatic yell, he explains the stone will randomly assign them a class based on their potential. He makes it a point to say that it doesn't matter if they get a combat class or a support role as long as they do their part to help the country prosper. The students are absolutely buzzing with anticipation. After all, they've been training for this day for the last 18 years. One kid is already dreaming of landing a cushy guild position with a huge paycheck for minimal work. His friend quickly reminds him that getting a combat class is a 50-50 shot at best. And while everyone's chatting excitedly, they notice our main character and lowest ranked student, Lynn Tionhao, is completely asleep at his desk. It turns out Lynn is dead, last in the school rankings, and his classmates are teasing him that landing a good class is his only hope for a future that isn't totally pathetic. Not only is Lynn at the bottom of the academic ladder, he's also the poorest kid in class. While they're all snickering, Lynn is just hoping to see this whole thing through and figure out what class he'll end up with. A bald classmate saunters over to Lynn and asks what class he's hoping to get. Lynn, completely serious, says he's aiming for a hidden class with an S-rank skill. The guy immediately shouts this out to everyone, and the whole class erupts in laughter, roasting Lynn for dreaming way too big. One of them tells Lynn to get his head out of the clouds, saying he'd be lucky to even get a support class, let alone a combat one. Judging by the school's rankings, he's at the absolute bottom of the barrel. Lynn, however, is a big believer in comebacks and feels like he's due for a classic Phoenix rising from the ashes moment. You see, he was actually transmigrated into this world, so he figures if something that wild can happen once, lightning can definitely strike twice. Just then, the teacher calls Lynn's group to the stage. A huge, brawny guy named Wang Dong confidently strolls up to the stage, absolutely certain he's about to get a top-tier class. The teacher explains that the class assignment takes less than 5 seconds after touching the stone. She also gives Wang a heads up that it's normal to feel a little dizzy during the process. Wang Dong touches the giant crystal, and it immediately erupts in a brilliant golden glow known as the Holy Light. With that, his awakening is a success, and he gets the fighter class. Wang gives a triumphant fist pump, and on top of that, his skill is ranked C. The teacher informs him that a C-rank skill is considered excellent for most people. Wang is then instructed to head over to the guild center, where someone will get him set up with his new class. The girls in the class are already fawning over Wang Dong for landing such an awesome class, asking if he'll carry them through some dungeons. Everyone wants to be on Wang Dong's good side since a combat class is a ticket to a steady income. He walks back toward the students, soaking it all in. He deliberately bumps shoulders with Lynn and uses the chance to talk some trash. It's clear Wang Dong has always bullied Lynn, and now that he's a fighter, Lynn knows he's in for a really bad time. Wang Dong's friends immediately jump in, trying to make it seem like Lynn was the one at fault for the collision. They look like they're about to give him a hard time, but Wang Dong waves them off, saying he's in too good of a mood to be bothered. Lynn just wonders what kind of class he's going to get if a jerk like that can become a fighter. Just as he's pondering his fate, his bullies are wondering the exact same thing. A moment later, Lynn is called to the stage and all eyes are on him. Lynn gets to the stone, silently praying he awakens with any class at all, even a low-rank one. With a nervous gulp, he touches the crystal, and it bursts with the same golden light. This time, however, the light is unbelievably bright, far more intense than it was for Wang Dong. The spectacle stuns him and everyone else in the auditorium. Lynn's heart starts racing as he wonders if this is finally the incredible turnaround he's been hoping for. When the light finally subsides and things quiet down, the teacher checks his status. Lynn's hopes are instantly crushed when he learns he's a summoner. His rivals immediately start howling with laughter, as the summoner class is widely considered the most useless class of all. While the summoner class is technically for combat, it's insanely expensive to train, and the results are almost always underwhelming. Suddenly, a system window pops up right in front of him, offering him access to a triple S rank skill if he agrees to bind himself to the Lord of the Black Abyss. Lynn smashes the accept button, activating a system that will grant him a new triple S rank skill every 10 levels. This basically means he'll be on track to have 10 triple S rank skills by level 100. His first skill is revealed Abyssal Sacrifice. This allows him to transform his summons using raw demonic power drawn straight from the abyss. To make things even crazier, these modified summons can still gain experience and level up on their own through battle. However, there's a catch: he can permanently sacrifice his own maximum health points to instantly level up and empower a summon. Lynn realizes that with this ability, he won't even need to fight himself, as long as his summons are strong enough to do the work for him. He figures he can always get his max HP back later with the right gear. He learns that every 100 health points he sacrifices will raise a summons level by 1. Since his current HP is 1,000, he plans to sacrifice 900 of it, leaving himself with just 100. This means he can boost his summons all the way to level 9 right from the get-go. Even though the skill seems completely overpowered, Lynn knows he needs to be smart about using it. He's broken out of his thoughts by the teacher, who walks over to tell him not to feel too bad, assuring him there are other options even with a supposedly useless class. Lynn thanks the teacher for her kind words, but he speaks with the cool confidence of someone who's about to shake up the entire world. The teacher seems to appreciate his good attitude, but the other students just keep mocking him, telling him to go home and rethink his life. Lynn walks among the teachers, deciding he is going to become a great caller who makes a difference. Lynn returns home to his eager sister, who is ready to know what job Lynn got. Lynn says that he got the caller job, leaving his sister in shock, since she knows that the job is low-ranked. Lynn's sister gives him support and tells him not to worry, since she is going to have her own awakening next year. She believes she will awaken as a magic user so she can keep her low-ranked brother safe. Lynn pushes her to the side, telling her that he is a strong caller who does not need anyone to keep him safe. His sister yells at him for picking on her and always treating her like a kid. Just then, Lynn gets a message on his phone telling him that the students who got jobs should gather in class. Since he does not know what this is all about, he decides to leave it for later. Shortly after, Lynn and the other newly awakened students gather in the classroom where their teacher addresses them. He says that 5 people got the fighting job, 8 people got the magic user job, 11 people became helpers, and 1 person became a caller. Wong Dong does not waste time pointing to Lynn and calling his job a useless one. Dong's friend agrees with him, saying, getting such a job basically means the person's life is over. Since Lynn's case is special, the teacher has a beginner's book about callers for him. Lynn walks up to the front to get the book, and the teacher tells him that he is free to talk to him anytime if he runs into any problems. While getting the book, Lynn sees that it's covered in a lot of dust, meaning no one ever reads it because the caller job is so low-ranked. The teacher then tells them that they have been gathered because the school wants to collect specific information on students who have gotten a job. The teacher tells his students to be on their best behavior because the other classes will be at the test. Soon the students move out to the testing spot. An overexcited student is the first to step up and show his power as a magic user. His power is quite good, and this gets him 73 points. Wong Dong also shows his fighter powers by cutting the ground, leaving a bright light. His good show of power gets him 89 points. The teachers praise him, telling him that he is going to be first in the class with that score. Soon, Lynn is called forward to show his skills. He had learned some basic calling techniques from the book he got from the teacher, but he had not tried any of them yet. However, he is ready to give it his all to make sure he does not mess up in front of his classmates and teachers. He opens his calling book and says some words. This immediately causes a strong wind to hit the whole area, leaving everyone shocked. They are all curious to see the strong creature that Lynn is about to summon with his big power. When the smoke clears, everyone, including Lynn, is shocked to see that he has summoned a slime. This starts another round of laughter from the students, who cannot believe that after all the show Lynn just put on, all he could summon was a slime. They start saying mean things to him, telling him that slimes are basically useless against monsters because they will definitely get torn apart. Lynn himself is let down as he cannot believe that he just summoned the least expected thing. The slime is at level 1, and its attack power is 9. For skills, the slime has Eat Away and Throw, but it has no summoning gear. Lynn compares the slime's attack power to a light touch because of how low it is. He is still worried about this when the teacher calls everyone's attention to his score. They are all expecting great things, but are let down yet again when they see 9 points on the board. The teacher tries to lift Lynn's spirit by telling him that 9 points are better than nothing. However, Lynn asks the teacher if he can try again. The teacher sees nothing wrong with this and tells Lynn to go ahead. Lynn then uses his SSS level skill Black Abyss offering. The system tells him that the summoned creature will be forever changed if he goes ahead to use the Black Abyss offering on it. Lynn accepts the terms and proceeds. Behind him, Wong Dong is already saying mean things, telling him that he is only wasting his time trying again. Lynn ignores the hecklers and gives up 200 health points. Suddenly, a sinister red aura emerges and merges with the slime. This causes a shocking transformation that leaves everyone with their mouths open. Lynn's eyes light up in surprise when he sees the transformed slime and its new stats. The slime's health has gone up to 1,200 from 500. The attack power has jumped from 9 to 120. In addition to its previous 2 skills, it has gained the bad place stance. To see what the slime can do, Lynn gives it an attack order, and it rushes into the distance, leaving a loud boom behind. With the slime's action, the points board starts to update. Surprisingly, the board moves from 9 points to 120, shocking the teachers and students. They refuse to believe that the least expected person just got 120 points. Wong Dong's supporters start losing their cool since Lynn has more points than their main guy. Even Wong Dong cannot believe his eyes. He immediately brings up a concern, reminding everyone that Lynn did the test twice, and there is a chance that he messed with the machine. The other students immediately join in claiming that Lynn cheated the second time. They call out to the teacher, telling him that Lynn first got 9 points, and there is no way it suddenly jumped to 120 points. Lynn knows he messed with something, but it was not the machine. He only used his skill on his summon the slime. In no time, the teacher starts to agree with the kids, telling Lynn that they are actually right. Lynn argues with the teacher, telling him that he did not cheat. The teacher then walks up to the machine, and after a closer look and deep thought, he turns to the students. He tells them that Lynn did not cheat. However, he claims that the machine had a problem. Wong Dong hears this and lets out a sigh of relief because he can never believe that low-ranking people like Lynn would have better points than him. Wong Dong then asks the teacher what they are supposed to do with Lynn's points. The other students are already putting on the pressure, telling the teacher that the point system showed 9. The teacher then tells Lynn that he will have to take the test another time since the machine had a problem. Lynn is shocked that the teacher is actually giving him another chance. The students start to complain about this choice, but the teacher stands his ground, telling them that it is final. The teacher then tells the students who have not been tested, including Lynn, to wait behind while the machine is being fixed. With a menacing glare, Wong got right in Lynn's face, insisting that no matter how many times he retook the test, he'd always be a bottom-tier nobody. Wong then rallied his cronies, announcing it was time to head for the first level of the Dark Abyss, which immediately clued Lynn in that they were going to a newbie-level dungeon. Since they were all headed to the same place anyway, Lynn figured it was the perfect opportunity to test out his newly upgraded slime. A team of experts arrived to inspect the busted machine, concluding from the sheer extent of the damage that the school must have produced yet another genius. Out of nowhere, an old man pops up and starts praising Lynn for being a caller, leaving Lynn completely baffled, but deciding to just roll with the weirdness. The strange old man then presented a small stick, claiming it was a top-tier caller staff that he was willing to part with for a mere 300 gold coins. Lynn could not believe what he was hearing, staring at what was clearly just a twig and calling the old man out for trying to pull a fast one on him. Unfazed, the old man explained that he was only offering the so-called staff to Lynn because he felt a special connection between them. He swore he wouldn't have even considered it for anyone else, so Lynn skeptically grabbed the stick, only to be jolted by a surprising flow of power. Considering he had zero information on the caller class or where to buy gear for it, Lynn decided to take the deal, but a quick pouch check revealed he only had 92 gold coins. He genuinely pleaded with the old man, asking if he'd consider a discount, and the man replied that he'd happily accept the 92 gold coins as a down payment. Lynn was confused by the term down payment, so the man clarified that the initial sum would just reserve the staff so he wouldn't sell it to anyone else. The catch, however, was that to get the staff for good, Lynn would have to venture into the deepest part of the first level Dark Abyss maze and retrieve a treasure for him. Is it too late to back out? Lynn groaned, realizing he'd just been roped into an inescapable side quest. When asked what he was supposed to be looking for, Lynn was told he'd know the treasure when he saw it once he made it to the maze's core. The old man then eagerly grabbed Lynn's hand, pressing it onto an agreement form, which only made Lynn wonder why he was so desperate to make this sale. With the handprint secured, The old man cheerily sent Lynn on his way, reminding him not to forget their little deal. The old man was practically buzzing with excitement while Lynn just walked off in a daze. Moments later, Lynn's teacher appeared asking Elder Fang what he was doing at the testing center. The teacher assured Fang he could head back, explaining that nothing interesting had happened besides the assessment machine malfunctioning. Fang then casually asked the teacher if he was familiar with a student named Lynn, and the teacher confirmed Lynn was in his class. The teacher mentioned that Lynn had ended up with the caller job, predicting a tough road ahead for the kid, and Fang couldn't help but agree that Lynn's journey would be incredibly challenging. Before long, Lynn found himself at the entrance to the Dark Abyss lower world area, also known as the Cold Valley Black Abyss, which typically required a party of 3 to 5 people to enter. The entry requirement was for levels 1 to 10, and anyone higher would be turned away by the guardian at the gate. Seeing as the minimum party size was 3, Lynn quickly realized he wouldn't be able to get in by himself. He pulled up a message screen and saw that there were monthly rewards for the top-ranked players in the Black Abyss clearings for the previous season. He noticed Fang Chongyun's name on the list, who had received a newbie chest plate with some pretty sweet stats, and the promise of similar rewards sparked Lynn's determination to claw his way to the number 1 spot. Just then, some of Lynn's classmates spotted him at the entrance and were shocked that a low-rank nobody like him would even dare to attempt the dungeon. Lynn's mood instantly soured, realizing he had to put up with these jerks yet again. Wang Dong sneered at Lynn to just go home, saying a useless caller had no business being at the Black Abyss, but Lynn shot back that they should all just mind their own business. Joe then chimed in, reminding Lynn that his pride was worthless here, since he couldn't even enter the dungeon without a team. Wang Dong then grandly held up his hand, asking who wanted to team up with him, and was immediately swarmed by students begging to be picked. Playing the part of a benevolent leader, Wang Dong eventually selected 2 guys from the crowd, and once his team of 5 was assembled, he announced their goal was to aim for first place. But as they approached the gate, it suddenly spat out a pile of human bones, sending a wave of panic through the newly formed group. The new recruits realized they were just one wrong move away from becoming Monster Chow, but Wang managed to rally their courage enough for them to step through the ominous portal. Lynn watched them go, figuring that Wang and his original 2 buddies would probably ditch the 2 new guys as soon as they were no longer useful. A little while later, Lynn noticed a lone girl with a singer class, another job considered pretty weak. Her name was Lee Shuer, and it looked like she'd been struggling to find a party for a while. To her utter amazement, Lynn walked right up and asked if she'd like to join his team, leaving Lee Shuer stunned that someone with an S-level skill would approach her. Lynn just smiled and admitted that while he planned on shooting for the top of the rankings, nobody seemed willing to party up with him. She thought his goal sounded completely impossible, but at the same time she couldn't pass up the chance to team up with such a friendly and powerful player. So she eagerly accepted his offer with a handshake, and Lynn explained that he would handle all the monster fighting. All she needed to do was focus on staying safe. Lee Shuer was absolutely thrilled to hear that and promised Lynn she would do exactly as he asked. Lynn was pleased. Now they just needed one more person, but suddenly a commotion drew everyone's attention to the arrival of the school's most popular girl, Su Qing. All the guys immediately started shouting over each other, begging her to join their teams and promising they would protect her. Su Qing, however, was internally disgusted, viewing them all as a bunch of weaklings. Even Lynn was surprised to see the campus belle there, but then he noticed she was walking straight toward him. Su Qing had a plan brewing in her mind. She was going to use Lynn for her own benefit, figuring that teaming up with someone everyone saw as a low-rank player would create exactly the kind of stir she was looking for. Su Qing then acts friendly, asking to join Lynn's team. The moment the boys hear this, they lose their cool. Even Lynn is shocked and is forced to ask Su Qing again. Su Qing confirms that she did not make a mistake and even holds hands with him. This draws more hate from the men who start to question why Su Qing would go for a low-rank person like Lynn. Lynn can feel their hateful stares, but wonders why he is getting the blame when Su Qing was the one who approached him. One of the guys goes too far, and with a harsh tone, Su Qing tells him to get lost. Without wasting any more time, Su Qing tells her new team members that it is time for them to go to the Black Abyss. Before they enter, Lynn asks her why she decided to join their team. Su Qing proudly replies that she is competing for the top ranking, and because of this, she needs a bunch of low-ranked people with her. She is sure that she will be the talk of the town if she is able to lead 2 worthless low-rank people to the first position. Lynn and Liu cannot believe that they have just been called useless and low-rank. It suddenly dawns on Lynn that he has found himself in a team with 2 women. Liu is shocked that they are already entering the dungeon with just 3 people, but Su Qing says that there was no one good enough to join them. The three then step into the gate, finding themselves inside the cold black abyss valley. The three admit that the dungeon is very cold. Even the warm clothes Lynn brought have no effect against the harsh weather. Liu then says that she knows a low-level cold resistance boost that might help them. She plays her instrument to start the spell, and it lets out a warm feeling for her and her team members. Suqing smiles at this as she praises Liu for being useful. Lynn then walks ahead, saying that they should get a move on since they are aiming to reach the first position. Suddenly, they come across a beast with red eyes, which turns out to be a walking wolf. The beast is rated a normal grade monster with an attack power of 21. Suqing steps forward, telling her teammates that the wolf is a low-level monster. She is glad that it came at just the right time for her to practice. A blue aura swirls around her body as she transforms, getting claws and teeth in the process. Suqing finishes her transformation into her beast form, the small cat. She looks scary, and Lynn finally gets to see the power of the nature user job in action. Without holding back, Suqing jumps toward the wolf, ready to tear it apart. She cuts the wolf many times, lowering its health, and Lynn figures out that Suqing's attacks have a slowing effect. Liu is impressed by Suqing's performance and how she easily took out the wolf without stress. For taking out the wolf, Suqing gets wolf skin, which is worth 20 gold coins per set, and wolf fangs, which are worth 10 gold coins per set. Suqing then tells Liu that she will be giving her the items as a thank you gift for the cold resistance boost she used on them. Liu smiles, assuring Suqing that it is not necessary. With that, the team continues their journey through the Black Abyss. Soon they come across a new set of wolves. Just like before, Suqing rushes straight in. She cuts the wolves all at once, taking them down. However, she takes a bit of damage in the process. She knows it is hard to take on a bunch of wolves at once, but at the same time, she does not want to lose the top position. Liu immediately sees that Suqing's arm is cut and asks if she is fine, offering to help with a low-level healing spell. Suqing rudely tells her that low-level skills will not help that much and tells her to save her mana. Suqing reaches into her storage and pulls out a healing potion that she drinks to restore her health. The journey continues, but suddenly, Suqing steps into a magic circle without seeing it. She gets thrown to the ground by the resulting explosion. When the dust clears, they find that they have stumbled upon a scary beast, the mutated zombie. Even Suqing is forced to admit that things have gone wrong since they have suddenly come across a fearsome zombie. Liu says that the zombie is an elite monster, and it has no reason to show up in this dungeon. Lynn says that Suqing might have taken out too many walking wolves, which attracted the zombie's attention. Suddenly, the zombie runs towards Suqing and hits her with its weapon. Suqing fails to react because of the zombie's immense speed, and she gets thrown backwards effortlessly. Suqing hits the ground, breaking it on impact, which leaves her incapacitated. The zombie walks toward her, aiming to finish her off, while Liu screams at Lynn that they need to help Suqing. Just as the zombie is about to finish Suqing off with its big hammer, Lynn summons his slime. The slime appears immediately, and Lynn orders it to use the acid dance skill. The slime takes the order, and at great speed it runs towards Suqing, grabbing her out of the zombie's path before it can finish her off. The zombie hits the ground with its weapon, shocked that there is no sign of the girl in the rubble. Lynn then tells Liu to take Suqing to the nearest safe zone while he takes care of the elite zombie. Liu agrees to the order, but the zombie wastes no time running at Lynn. Lynn then orders the slime to use the slime throw skill. Excited, the slime jumps into the air and spits out slime liquid all over the zombie. After this, Lynn orders the slime to use acid stance. Even with these two skills combined, the zombie is barely damaged. Lynn finds out that the elite zombie has high resistance, which is why they can only deal 50% damage. Since the zombie is a problem, he decides that finding another way to deal with it is the best path forward. Suddenly, Lynn discovers that the slime can actually melt the zombie's body. Because of this, Lynn orders the slime to go for the zombie's ankles by combining acid dance and corrosive slime. As usual, the slime excitedly takes the order, running toward the zombie's lower body. The zombie does not realize what is happening at first until it loses its balance and falls to the ground. Meanwhile, Liu is busy using healing magic on Suqing. Suqing slightly opens her eyes to see Lynn taking on the zombie all by himself. Lynn then tells the slime to go after the zombie's legs. The zombie tries to protect itself, but the slime's liquid covers it, causing its health to drop rapidly. In no time, the zombie is fully covered in the slime's corrosive liquid, taking it out. The system tells Lynn that he has taken out the elite mutated zombie, and by doing so, he has gained 120 experience points. The zombie also drops some items: the body hammer, wolf skin, and 10 pieces each of wolf teeth. Model. Well, Lynn leveled up too, and he was completely stunned by how much experience he got. The only explanation was that he must have taken down a seriously tough monster. Louie was totally blown away by the display, which made her ask, "Wait, are all summoners usually this overpowered?" Subing, now fully conscious, corrected her, saying it had nothing to do with Lynn's class. Suchin quickly put two and two together, realizing that Lynn was just incredibly strong on his own, with or without his job skills. At that moment, Lynn came over to her and gently asked how she was doing. Susing assured our hero that she was on the mend, explaining it was just a minor injury. Liu chimed in that her healing spell was helping, but insisted they all needed to take a breather. "No way," Susing shot back, reminding them they were in a race for the top spot and couldn't afford any extra downtime. Liu tried to gently point out that she was still in rough shape, but Susing insisted she had plenty of energy left. To make her case, she pushed herself back onto her feet. She managed a few shaky steps before she started to tremble. Lynn quickly caught her, reminding her, "You're not going to get first place if you end up disqualified from exhaustion." Lynn's logic finally broke through, and Suging reluctantly agreed. It was time for a break. Lynn spotted a cave not too far off, and suggested they could rest there for the night. After they got a small camp set up inside the cave, Lynn told the girls to get some rest while he scouted the perimeter for any potential threats. He barely finished his sentence before Li Wei was already out like a light. She'd used up way too much mana and was completely wiped. Lin and Suqing could only stare, amazed that she had passed out in a matter of seconds. Lin then turned to Suqing, telling her to rest up too while he did a security check. Sug's face went bright red as she thanked Lin for saving her life. Lin gave her a slightly confused look, so Suqing, trying to hide her blush, quickly explained that she's just a decent person who always thanks people who help her out. She then turned over to sleep, muttering for Lin to just forget she said anything. As Lin walked out of the cave, he couldn't help but smile. Once outside, he figured it was a good time to check his stats since he just hit level 3. A huge grin spread across Lin's face when he saw the massive boost he'd received. His health had jumped from 800 to 1,200. His attack power had also shot up from 12 to 40. And a few of his other stats got some nice little tweaks as well. On top of the better stats, he unlocked the full cover skill, which was basically a buff. Since his last level up gave him 400 health, Lin decided to use it to upgrade the slime to level 4. He had 1/200 health points available, and he invested the 400 points. The slime practically beamed as it powered up its attack, rocketing from 120 to 1,400. The slime also picked up a brand new skill, Slime Split. This one piqued Lin's curiosity, so he decided to activate it and see what happened. The moment the skill was active, he told the slime to go for it, and just like that, it split into 2 identical copies. Lin quickly noticed that the slime's health had been divided perfectly between them. The same went for its defense, but interestingly enough, its speed had actually increased. Lin was pretty impressed, but had no clue how long the skill would last. Right then, a timer appeared before him, indicating the skill's cooldown was 3 minutes. Lin almost flipped out when he realized he had such a short 3-minute window to use this ability. He was wondering what on earth the slime could accomplish in just 3 minutes when a loud crash from inside the cave shattered the silence. He knew instantly that his friends were in trouble. He bolted back into the cave and found them screaming at some monster to get away from them. Without a second's hesitation, Lin ordered the slimes to attack the terrifying creature. The slimes launched their projectiles, but it only chipped away 25 of the monster's health. Lin was shocked that his slime's attack did so little damage to the beast, which he now saw was a giant snow rabbit. It was a level 8 monster with a hefty 800 health points. It also boasted 80 attack power, which made it a genuinely serious threat. According to the system's pop-up info, Lin learned that these creatures live in icy environments year-round. Plus, their thick fur makes them resistant to basic attacks. The girls immediately thought this was the end of the line for them, seeing the enormous power difference. The rabbit let out an angry roar and charged straight for Lin. Suqin cried out for him, yelling at him to be careful, but Lin didn't look worried at all as he commanded the slimes to fire their liquid shots at the rabbit. The rabbit, however, was completely unfazed and swatted the slimes aside, as if they were nothing more than a minor annoyance. The rabbit's incredible speed allowed it to easily dodge the slime attacks, and it was finally dawning on Lin that this might be a bigger problem than he thought. He yelled at his modified slime, telling it to fall back and use its bad play stance and eat away slime skills. The slime obeyed the command, but the rabbit was just way too fast. It managed to zip right past every trap Lin was trying to lay for it. Panic started to set in for the team as Li Wei asked in disbelief why the rabbit was moving so quickly. Suking explained that the rabbit was the most notorious monster in the Cold Valley Abyss, and because of its strength, it had taken out countless adventurers. But what confused Subing was why it was attacking them when they hadn't even entered its territory. And just when things couldn't seem to get any worse, Lynn saw that his bad play dance skill was on cooldown. He immediately ordered the slime to retreat to his position, but it was too late. The rabbit caught the slime and slammed it into the ground. Seeing this, Liu jumped in to help while Suking screamed at her to stay put. Liu grabbed a nearby rock and hurled it at the rabbit's head. That finally got the rabbit's attention, shifting it from the slime to Liu. Liu gasped, realizing she might have just made a huge mistake. She screamed as the menacing rabbit started to stalk toward her. Fumbling in her bag, Liu grabbed the very first thing her fingers touched. The item turned out to be a carrot, which she instinctively threw at the rabbit. To everyone's astonishment, the creature dropped its ferocious act and began nibbling on the carrot like a perfectly normal bunny. That's when it dawned on Lynn the rabbit was just hungry. Suching, on the other hand, had to ask Liu the million-dollar question of why she was carrying carrots in the first place. Liu explained that she'd brought them along because they were a required food item for the quest. After finishing the first carrot, the rabbit turned back to the group with a mean look in its eyes. A shiver went down their spines, and Liu quickly tossed the rabbit a whole bunch of carrots to keep it from turning them into paste. While the rabbit was preoccupied with its snack, Lynn realized their carrot supply was running low. They had to figure out a way to defeat it, and fast. Lynn then shouted at Li Wei to throw her bag to Suching. Suching was stunned by the order, but Liu didn't hesitate for a second and tossed the bag over. The very instant the bag landed in her hands, the rabbit snapped its attention directly to her. Suching screams at Lynn, asking him if he has a plan for the rabbit. Suching right away changes into her beast form and runs away from the rabbit. Lynn confirms he has a plan to take out the rabbit. The rabbit gets mad for failing to catch Suching after a few tries, making it let out a loud sound in anger. After running around for a moment, Suching asks Lynn what his plan is. Lynn then points to the hardest part of the cave, telling Suching to lead the rabbit straight there. Right away, Suching figures out what he is trying to do. She heads straight for the designated spot while the rabbit chases after her. Suching runs on all fours while holding the carrot bag in her mouth. She makes sure to get very close to the wall before changing direction, making the rabbit head straight into the wall. The impact dazes the rabbit, and Lynn orders the slime to do its thing. The slime then appears above the rabbit, letting out its corrosive liquid on it. Lynn grins like a villain when he sees that he finally has the rabbit where he wants it. He then orders the slime to use the split skill and the slime throw skill to go after the annoying rabbit. Fear takes the rabbit as it sees what is coming for it. The slime rains its corrosive liquid down on the trapped rabbit, finally lowering its health and taking it out. This gives Lynn 200 experience points, and he now needs 100 experience points to reach the next level. Lynn figures out that the slime will have a hard time against a strong enemy, but he thinks he has a way to get around a similar situation. Liu lets out a big sigh of relief that they have taken out the rabbit, since she thought she was going to be taken out. On the other hand, Suching is still upset that Lynn used her as bait. Lynn scratches his head nervously, telling Suching that she was the only one fast enough to outrun the rabbit. Suching agrees with what Lynn is saying, but she turns her anger to Liu, blaming her for bringing carrots into the Black Abyss, which led to the rabbit chasing them. Liu tries to explain herself, saying she was trying to provide the team with dry food. However, Suching yells at her to get rid of the carrots. Lai was about to throw away the carrots, but Lynn stops her. He points out that the rabbits have given them more experience points than all the other monsters they have come across so far. He tells the team it will be much easier for them to level up if they can lure more snow rabbits into the cave and wipe them out. Since clearing the Cold Valley, Abyss requires taking out the level 10 boss. He says they need to get to level 4 or above. Lynn is currently at level 3, while the girls are at level 2 each. Liu understands the need to level up, but she reminds Lynn that they had a hard time dealing with just one rabbit. Lynn puts on a sly smile, telling the girls that last time they were the ones being chased, but this time they are going to be the chasers. Suching also agrees with Lynn, since she is aiming for the top spot, and she can't be going around looking for monsters when the monsters can come to them. She decides that it is time they start planning out their move. The team then places a carrot on the ground while hiding behind a rock. This soon draws a rabbit to the spot, but while the rabbit is busy eating, Lynn and his teammates start a surprise attack. The three keep this up, and 3 hours later, Lynn has reached level 5 while the girls make it to level 4 each. The girls are glad that they have been in the Black Abyss for just 5 hours, and they have leveled up really well. The first place record was set by Fang, who cleared the Black Abyss in 8 hours. Liu then brings up the idea that they can actually break the record. Suching is not sure since the Black Abyss boss is quite dangerous and will not just sit around while they attack it. Lynn remembers that the guide told them that the Black Abyss boss is a zombie leader who commands wolves and the undead to attack its enemies. Lynn does not think the boss will be hard to take out, but it will come down to a test of endurance in the end. Lynn judges that they should be able to take down the boss in 2 hours or less with their current level and power. Liu then asks them what the plan is. Suching says that they should rest, and Lynn agrees, saying they should take a 30-minute break. Lynn then levels up his slime, but is not happy that he has to lower his own health to do so. He figures out that he has to find another way to level up the slime when he gets back outside. Lynn sees that he did not get new skills, and his stats did not go up by much. He can only hope that the boss fight is not long. Suddenly, a loud noise from outside the cave gets their attention. They rush outside to see a unicorn standing in the distance. The unicorn turns out to be a hidden boss, which is also level 10. However, it seems to be dangerous, as it shows off 120 attack power points for its skills. It has skills like Running Thorn Soul Cleansing, Song Stomping Run, and Falling Star. It seems the unicorn is a good and pure creature that uses the Black Abyss as its resting spot. The unicorn's job is to keep the creatures in the Black Abyss from being bothered. Whenever it feels like the balance of life is being messed with, it shows up to take care of the problem. Sweat runs down Lynn's face when he finds out that they are going up against an actual unicorn. Lynn considers himself lucky to have run into the hidden boss, but at the same time he knows he needs to be careful since its stats are much stronger than the original zombie leader boss. The slime looks at the unicorn with worry while waiting for the command to attack. Just then, the unicorn uses one of its skills to put Lynn and his teammates in a trance. This affects Lynn's mental state, and he starts commenting on the unicorn's beautiful appearance while walking forward aimlessly. It turns out that the unicorn is leading Lynn and his teammates towards a cliff to make them fall and be eliminated. The slime moves into action and sinks into Lynn's leg to pull him back to his senses. Lynn opens his eyes, wondering why the slime grabbed him until he sees where he is heading. Lynn turns around to see the girls almost at the edge of the drop. Just as they are about to step off, Lynn rushes over to grab them. He pulls them back, helping them to get their senses back. The three then hide behind a rock to assess their situation. The girls wonder why they are being chased by a unicorn when the Black Abyss boss is supposed to be a zombie leader. Lynn explains that the unicorn's job is to protect the creatures in the Black Abyss, and because they wiped out so many rabbits, it now sees them as a threat. Lau finally put it together. The unicorn didn't bother with the corrupted wolves and zombies because technically they weren't living creatures anymore. This is not how it was supposed to go. Suching grumbled, clearly annoyed. The dungeon guide said, "We just had to plow through some monsters to get to the final boss." Nobody said anything about a hidden boss showing up, especially one that's way tougher than the main event. Sugan sighed, the grim reality setting in. "So I guess this is it. We're about to become unicorn food." Lou's eyes started to water. "That's why we ran. I don't want to die." But Lynn shook his head, his expression serious. "There's no running. The moment we messed with those snow rabbits, it put a target on our backs." Lou started sobbing. "This is all my fault. If I hadn't brought those dumb carrots, we could have just farmed zombies and made it to the boss without any trouble. Now we're all going to get wiped out because I messed up." Lynn gave her a gentle pat on the shoulder. "Hey, cut it out with that low-rank thinking. That little detour of yours is the reason we leveled up so much." He turned to the others. "This is our chance to actually clear this dungeon. If we can just take down this unicorn..." Lynn then stood up, striking a dramatic pose. "Don't you worry, I'll keep you all safe from this overgrown pony." Suching was not about to let Lynn steal the show. She leaped to her feet, bristling with confidence. "Oh, please, you really think I'm scared of a little unicorn?" She pointed a thumb at herself, taking charge. "Just try not to get in my way while I'm handling the boss." A huge smile broke out on Lou's face. "You guys are the greatest," but her words were cut short when a massive attack from the unicorn slammed into the spot where they were strategizing. The unicorn activated its Running Thorn skill. As it charged, Lynn yelled at the top of his lungs, "Everybody spread out!" The unicorn galloped towards them enraged and unleashed its soul-cleansing song skill. The ability sent a jarring wave of psychic noise into their minds, but for some reason Lou was completely unaffected. She immediately started playing her instrument, creating a counter melody that purified their minds and shielded them from the unicorn's mental assault. The unicorn switched gears, activating another ability, the Stomping Run. It targeted the one person who was nullifying its primary attack, Lou. It lowered its head, aiming to impale her. But Suching dove in at the last second, knocking its horn off course. She followed up with a sharp kick to the unicorn's head, sending it stumbling back. This only made the unicorn angrier, and its furious gaze immediately shifted to Suching. She gave it a cheeky grin, but the unicorn closed the distance between them in an instant. Suching's confident smile faded as she realized how terrifyingly fast the beast was. Lynn saw the path its horn was taking and knew she was in serious danger. Suching couldn't get out of the way in time and the horn struck her. She collapsed to the ground as Liu screamed her name and rushed to help. The unicorn reared up, looking down on its handiwork with pride. Lynn's face darkened with rage. All right, that's it, Slime. It's our turn to get in on the action. And his evolved slime was now level 9 with an impressive 160 attack power. The slime launched itself at the unicorn, spewing a stream of its corrosive acid. The attack caused a whole new level of pain, making the unicorn shriek and lose its footing. Liu and Suching could hardly believe their eyes. The little slime was actually dominating the fight. I knew its holy nature would be weak against the slime's dark attribute, Lynn said with a grin. But I never imagined it would be this effective. Lynn was thoroughly impressed. Keep it up. Slime don't give it a second to breathe. The constant pain became too much, and the unicorn tried to flee, but Lynn shouted, Slime, use your corrosive slime skill in the unholy dance. The slime jiggled excitedly and shot after the retreating boss. It easily caught up to the unicorn, gave it a smug little look, and unleashed another attack. The unicorn screamed in agony as it crashed to the ground. Awesome work, buddy, Lynn praised his companion. Pinned to the floor, the unicorn made one last desperate attempt and began its cleansing song again. Everyone cover your ears, Lynn commanded. The unicorn then charged straight for the slime. Seeing its plan, Lynn shouted, Slime divide! Right at the moment of impact, the slime split into 2 identical copies, causing the unicorn's attack to hit nothing but empty air. Now facing 2 slimes, it initiated its stomping run skill. As it began trying to crush the slimes, Lynn realized his full protection skill, which was keeping the slime safe, was about to expire. He had to end this now. Slime used the corrosive slime skill, Lynn ordered. One of the slimes immediately leaped high into the air, positioning itself behind the unicorn. The unicorn stepped into a puddle of corrosive slime left by the other half, just as the airborne slime landed directly on its back. It enveloped the creature, completely sending a fresh wave of unimaginable pain through it, causing it to scream. Realizing its life was in danger, the unicorn was forced into a berserk state. Whoa, it's going nuts, Lynn yelled. Slime, fall back. The unicorn staggered to its feet, but instead of attacking it, just stood there, staring intently at Lynn. Suddenly, Lynn noticed a unique aura flowing from the unicorn. While he was trying to figure it out, Suching charged forward, shouting, Lynn, what are you waiting for? Finish it off. Lao moved in to support her, but Lynn screamed at them, Stop, don't do it. Suching paid him no mind and slammed the unicorn with a powerful blow, sending it toppling over. It was only then that she noticed the unicorn was actually crying. The sight shocked her. In its final moments, the unicorn let out one last piercing cry. Lynn and his team covered their ears as he commanded, Slime, absorb its power. The slime obeyed, and Lynn sighed, thinking it was all over. But then the entire cavern began to collapse around them. Everyone get back to me now, Lynn yelled. They rushed over to him as the slime spread its body out to shield them from the falling debris. The girls wondered why the place was suddenly falling apart, and Lynn explained, The dungeon's guardian is gone. Because of that, the magic holding this place together is unraveling. Amid the chaos, Lynn ordered, Slime, make sure the unicorn's body is safe. The slime followed the order, covering the unicorn's body entirely to protect it. After a few moments, the cave-in stopped. All right, let's go check on the unicorn's body, Lynn announced. Suching looked completely lost. What is going on? Lynn explained. That aura it had was a healing ability. When it made contact with the ground, it started to repair the dungeon. Suching immediately suggested they finish it off so they could leave, but Lynn stopped her. Wait, we can't kill it yet. Suching wonders why Lynn is stopping her from taking out the unicorn. Liu sees that something is wrong with the unicorn, shocking Suching that she is taking Lynn's side. Lynn wonders what the unicorn is trying to give to them, and it suddenly lets off a huge scream. This gets Suching's attention, and she tries to end the unicorn, but Lynn still stops her. Suching scolds Lynn, telling him not to stop her again. Lynn then sees that there is a bump in the unicorn's tummy. Suddenly, a horn bursts through the unicorn's belly. Soon, a baby unicorn shows up from inside the mother unicorn. Suching thinks that the boss unicorn has the power to revive itself. As usual, she gets ready to end the unicorn before anything else. She goes for the unicorn, but Lynn jumps in to keep the unicorn safe and stop Suching from acting too fast. Suching ends up cutting Lynn on the face, and the blood spills on the baby unicorn's horn. Suching is still yelling at Lynn for acting so rashly when Lynn gets the message that he has made a deal with the baby unicorn. Everyone is shocked to see a bright green light behind them. The baby unicorn changes into pure light and goes into Lynn's mind. Lynn checks the unicorn's stats, and they are still pretty low, which makes sense for a baby unicorn. Lynn is glad that his guess about the unicorn trying to keep its baby safe was right. Lynn is happy that he now has 2 summons. Suddenly, the surroundings start to shake again, making the ground crack. Suching and Lisu make a run for it, but they turn around to see Lynn standing above the mother unicorn. Lynn bows beside the unicorn, promising that he is going to take care of its baby. The message comes in that Lynn has taken out the unicorn and he is given a bunch of items too. In addition to this, he broke the record for clearing the dungeon. The ground keeps shaking and gets worse than before. Suching and Lisu yell at him to get a move on, but before he can move, the ground under him collapses and he falls in. His teammates are scared, but while falling to his death, the system asks him if he is ready to leave the dungeon, and he quickly taps the yes option. A pixelated light shows up on Lynn and his teammates' bodies, and in no time they find themselves outside the dungeon. Suching immediately walks over to him, grabbing him by the shirt while Lynn tells her to calm down. Meanwhile, the other fighters have gotten the message that the rankings will be changing since there is a new record breaker in town. This leaves them wondering because the leaderboard has not changed in years. Some say that it might be Lynn, but they quickly throw away the thought, saying, there is no way a low ranker like Lynn could break Fang's record. Just then, the gate starts to glow, showing that someone is stepping out. Someone asks Lynn and his teammates if they were the ones who broke the record, but his friend scolds him, telling him that Lynn is a nobody. He says Lynn and his friends must have been forced to leave the dungeon early. Suching is upset when she hears this, and she tries to go off on the guys, but Lynn and Lisu hold her back since they are already used to being made fun of by people. Wong and his team finally step out of the dungeon. He looks at Lynn in the usual condescending way he looks at him. He makes it clear that he was not expecting a low ranker like him to actually make it out of the dungeon alive. Wong then sees that Suching is with Lynn, and he wonders why a beauty like her is with a low ranker like Lynn. Wong's friend backs him up, but Suching just tells them to get lost. While adding a few mean words, this gets the dude upset, but Wong tells him to back off. Wong then asks Lynn if he can now see the gap between them, but Lynn laughs, asking him what low-rank gap he is talking about. Wong lets his feelings get the better of him as usual, and he grabs Lynn by the shirt, yelling at him until he hears the people behind him talking about the leaderboard getting an update. They are all shocked when they hear that Lin Tianhao has taken the first position on the board. Wong leaves the dude in shame while trying to take in what he just heard. The onlookers start pointing to Lin, talking about how great he is to have pushed Fang Chongyun off the leaderboard after 3 years. Wong's friends, on the other hand, refuse to believe what is right before their eyes. They start their usual speculation that Lin must have cheated just like he did during the school exam. However, the other fighters there do not think Lin cheated, since there is no way someone could cheat in the dungeon. Just then, they hear a voice behind them talking about how simple-minded they are for thinking someone cheated in the dungeon. The aura from the voice makes them turn around, and they are shocked to see the two famous siblings, Murong Yu and his sister, Murong Shuer, walking toward them with their NPC teammates. The crowd immediately turns its attention toward the famous siblings whom they rarely see outside. Even Lin is shocked to see them, since they are both great fighters who have titles that are very hard to get. Murong Yu is a level 9 swordsman with an A-rank skill level. Murong Shuer, on the other hand, is a level 8 hidden attacker who also has an A-rank skill level. Lin wonders why the siblings suddenly showed up at the place, since they are of a high status class and usually enter the Black Abyss via special moving gates. However, there are also high-status players who choose to make teams with regular players to enter the Black Abyss, since they already have a team. Lin is further confused about what they are doing at a low-level place. As expected, Wong walks up to Murong Shuer to offer himself to her, but she just ignores him as if he were nothing. Wong's friend gets upset over this again, yelling at Murong Shuer and demanding to know why she just ignored his friend as if he were a nobody. Murong Shuer adds to the insults, telling them that she is let down, that such a low-ranking person managed to awaken as a member of the Holy Fighters. This further startles the dude, but Wong stops him from acting rashly. Wong then tells the siblings that Lin is just a guy who cheated in the dungeon. Wong turns to Lin, telling him that he is lucky, but there will not be a next time for him. Wong and his group leave the scene, and Suching lets out a breath of relief that the troublemakers are finally gone. Murong Yu then finally gets the chance to talk to Lin, asking him if he is the guy who just changed the ranking of the Black Abyss. Murong Yu takes off his glove to shake hands with Lin while introducing himself. Lin is truly shocked to see that Murong Yu was looking for him out of all people. This leaves him stunned until Murong-shu yells at him, asking if he is blind to the fact that her brother is trying to shake his hand. Murong-yu tells his overly enthusiastic sister to cool her jets, and Lynn, looking a bit flustered, finally snaps out of his daze to awkwardly say hi back. Just as Lynn reaches out for a handshake, Suching yanks him back, turns to the brother-sister duo and declares, "Sorry, he's already on our team." That clearly doesn't sit well with Murong-yu. With a look of complete disgust, he tells Suching to get out of the way so he can speak with Lynn directly. Suching completely ignores him, clearly not about to let anyone poach her new recruit. As she tries to lead Lynn away, Murong-yu blocks their path, stating plainly that they also want Lynn on their team. All the other fighters watching are floored. Seeing the high and mighty Murang family desperate to recruit a summoner is not an everyday sight. One of the onlookers points out that Lynn isn't just any summoner, he's the one who just smashed the Black Abyss record. Suddenly it clicks for everyone with him. The Murang family could climb the ranks with ridiculous ease. But Suching isn't backing down. She tells the siblings point blank that she's not handing Lynn over, knowing full well her own team's record would be toast if she did. One of Murong-yu's cronies steps forward, telling Suching to scram so they can take Lynn. The bystanders think Suching is playing with fire. Going up against the Murang family is a seriously bad idea. Liu quietly asks Lynn if he's actually thinking about joining them, but Suching immediately cuts in, insisting there's zero chance he'd even consider it. Murong-yu coolly reminds Suching that she doesn't speak for Lynn and suggests that maybe they should let the man make his own choice. Seizing the moment, Murong-yu makes his formal offer, dramatically introducing himself as the Knight of the Golden Divine Lion before officially inviting Lynn to join them. A system prompt to join Murong-yu's team appears for Lynn, and Suching is totally convinced he'll turn it down. But then Lynn shocks absolutely everyone by saying he's open to the idea. Suching and Liu are practically having a meltdown. Suching whips around to Lynn, demanding to know why on earth he would choose to side with their crew. Murong-yu, however, is all smiles, pleased that Lynn is making the intelligent choice. He gives a little applause and tells Lynn to go ahead and accept the invitation on his screen. Murong-yu flashes a confident smile, promising they'll smash every record together once he accepts. But in a stunning twist, Lynn declines the offer, leaving the entire crowd wondering what in the world is going through his head. Murong-shu looks absolutely livid, but her brother holds her back before she can explode. Lynn then clarifies that he is willing to join, provided they agree to his terms. Murong-shu glares at Lynn with pure disgust, snapping that they're already doing him a massive favor just by extending an invitation to their elite team. She reminds him he's just a low-level summoner and shouldn't be so ungrateful. Seeing their condescending attitude, Lynn has had enough and simply turns to walk away. Murong-yu quickly stops him, asking what exactly these terms are. Lynn turns back with a smile and says, "Don't worry, it's nothing too crazy. First, whenever they enter the Black Abyss, his orders are absolute. Second, nobody is allowed to leech his experience points. And third, all monster loot belongs to him." Murong-yu is visibly shocked, and the onlookers can't believe their ears. Lynn's demands are completely audacious. The crowd can't picture the arrogant Murang family ever taking orders from a summoner, but they also know just how badly the family needs his skills to boost their ranking. Lynn stands there confidently telling Murong-yu that if they can meet those conditions, he'll gladly join their team. Murong-yu's teammates immediately start shouting at him not to accept the ridiculous offer, insisting that Lynn is clearly just making a fool of them. Suching just laughs, telling them to have fun trying to climb the leaderboards without him. The crowd can't believe Lynn just openly mocked the Murang family to their faces. Someone in the crowd points out that since Lynn broke the record, he's a hot commodity now, so much so that even the mayor would have to show him some courtesy. Murong-yu's crew looks ready to pounce on Lynn, but their captain stops them, reminding them of their real reason for being there. Murong-yu then asks Lynn why he's wasting their time when he obviously has no intention of joining. Lynn replies that he just really hates it when powerful people try to strong-arm others. Predictably, this enrages Murong-shu, but her brother is right there to prevent her from lunging at Lynn. Murong-yu warns Lynn not to get too full of himself. That #1 spot on the Cold Valley Black Abyss ranking can be taken away just as fast as he earned it. Murong-yu delivers this with a clear tone of menace. Since Lynn has refused their offer, he declares it's time to go. Suching laughs and tells them not to let the door hit them on the way out. Murong-shu, on the other hand, is absolutely fuming over the public embarrassment and silently swears she'll make Lynn regret this day. Lynn just stretches nonchalantly and tells his teammates they need to dive back into the Black Abyss to grind to level 10. Suddenly he feels a chilling presence right behind him. He turns around to find his female teammates glaring down at him with terrifying expressions. They icily inform him that he's very lucky he turned down the Murang family's offer. Lynn sees his life flash before his eyes and quickly tries to explain himself, but the girls aren't listening. Instead, they give him a thorough, "Thank you for making them worry so much." After they're finished roughing him up, Suching announces they should all go restock on items and regroup in a bit. With about an hour to spare, Lynn decides to wander into the woods. Thanks to defeating that unicorn earlier, he'd gained a huge chunk of experience, which was enough to bump him all the way up to level 6. Curious about the abilities of the unicorn he acquired, he decides to try summoning it. He opens a summoning gate, which explodes in a brilliant flash of bluish-white light, but when the glow subsides, nothing appears. Lynn starts to panic when his summon is a no-show. A system message pops up, "Summoning failed," prompting him to check his summon's status. Completely baffled, he pulls up the status window. The system then asks if he wants to begin hatching his summon, as it's currently in an unhatched state. Lynn hits yes, and the system informs him it will take 3 full days for the unicorn to be ready. The long wait is a surprise, but realizing he has no other option, he decides to check out the other items he received. He's prompted to open his completion chest, which promises a random piece of gear. He pops it open and finds an item that looks like a letter the History Record gift pack. He opens it up to find a congratulatory message and a brand new title, The Fastest Man. Lynn has absolutely no idea what to make of that. Deciding not to overthink it, he puts the title out of his mind and focuses on the rest of the pack, which promises a random, high-level Black Abyss gear material or potion. Without a second thought, he opens it. 2 new packages materialize in front of him, and he decides to check what's inside the first chest he received. He popped open the reward chest and found a full set of Keeper's armor, which was universal for any class. It offered a nice boost to his stats and even threw in a bonus of 50 experience points upon use. Lynn, thrilled with the new armor, turned his attention to a smaller box inside. When he opened it, his jaw dropped. Inside was a silver-grade necklace. It was called the Ice Necklace, and it came loaded with a ton of buffs. Lynn couldn't believe his luck scoring a silver-tier piece of gear right off the bat. Apparently, gear was classified into 9 different ranks. You had your no-grade junk then: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, radiant, legendary, and finally the divine grade stuff. A wide grin spread across Lynn's face. It felt like the heavens were really smiling down on him. Brimming with excitement, he immediately equipped the new armor. The gear seamlessly melded with his body, and Lynn realized what a massive difference it made. His status screen had grown, reflecting all the new stat points, though he noted he only had 2 skill points available. Without a second thought, he decided to spend one of them. He instantly upgraded his full cover skill, jumping it from level 1 straight to level 3. This was the skill that protected his precious beast, Engui, and the upgrade made it consume less spirit power. Lynn was pleased. This would definitely speed up his dungeon clearing time. Next, Lynn focused on leveling up his slime. An option appeared offering to advance his slime by 6 whole levels at once. Lynn was stunned. The offer had 0 description, which made him super curious. He accepted anyway, a choice that instantly sliced his health points in half, but the sacrifice paid off as the slime began to transform. A blinding flash of energy erupted, forcing Lynn to shield his eyes. When the light faded and the process was complete, he was left staring in utter shock at a human-like slime standing before him. Meanwhile, Subing arrived at the entrance to the Black Abyss, ready for their next run. But Lynn was nowhere to be found. She wondered aloud where he could be, and Louis suggested she check his location on the team panel. Subing pulled up the panel and was completely bewildered to see his marker deep in the woods. "What on earth is he doing out there?" she muttered before declaring, "All right, let's go get him." Back in the forest, Lynn was still trying to process his shock, staring at the humanoid slime in front of him, who was quite buxom. Lynn's first thought was, why isn't she wearing any clothes? But before he could even finish the thought, the slime girl leaped into his arms. She tackled him to the ground in a fit of excitement, rubbing all of her soft part against him. Lynn's face flushed bright red, but he managed to regain his composure. He got a hold of the slime, telling her, "Nope, not gonna work," and as if she could understand him. "You're not getting a rise out of me." Lynn opened his inventory and pulled out a dress for her to wear. The slime took it, and instead of putting it on, promptly absorbed it into her body. It was then that Lynn had a horrifying realization he was dealing with a newborn slime. He couldn't believe he'd somehow become the dad to one of his summons. On the bright side, he figured that since she was in human form now, she could probably use professional gear. With that settled, Lynn decided it was time to check out the stats on his newly advanced slime. The The slime had received a massive power-up. Her health had skyrocketed from 600 to 2700. Her attack power had climbed to 205, and she had 2 brand new skills, Acid Rain and Unpleasant Hug. Acid Rain was listed as an area of effect skill, while Unpleasant Hug was a single target attack. The description for Acid Rain explained that the slime could launch a piece of her body to form clouds, which would then unleash highly corrosive acid rain on a designated area for continuous damage. As for the hug, any target she grabbed would suffer ongoing damage. Lynn was seriously impressed by her new abilities and couldn't wait to see them in action. Elsewhere, Suching and Liwi were still trekking through the forest, baffled as to why he'd ventured so deep inside. They finally spotted him, and from Suching's perspective, it looked like Lynn was intimately embracing a girl. She immediately exploded, yelling, "Lynn, what do you think you're doing?" Lynn jumped startled to see them. "What are you two doing all the way out here?" he asked. Suching was incredulous. "Are you serious?" she fumed, interpreting his question as him being annoyed that they were interrupting his romantic moment. Lynn sighed, realizing she had completely misunderstood the situation again. He braced himself for what was coming next, as an enraged Suching proceeded to rough him up while calling him a pervert. Only after the beatdown concluded did Suching finally learn that the girl was actually his evolved slime. Rather than apologizing for her mistake, she just blamed Lynn for not explaining things sooner. Lynn shot back that she never really gave him the chance. Lynn recalled the slime into his storage before asking them again why they were in the woods. Suching pointed out that their meeting time had long passed, and they obviously couldn't enter the Black Abyss without him. It finally dawned on Lynn that he'd lost track of time and that they were due for another run in the Black Abyss. At the same time, Murong-yu and his squad were effortlessly clearing a different part of the dungeon, mowing down snow rabbits like it was nothing. It was clear they were searching for something specific, but couldn't locate it, suggesting someone had already beaten them to it. One team member casually suggested they could just buy the item back from whoever found it. His companion smacked him upside the head for the idiotic comment. He reminded him that they were hunting a 1,000-year special creature as part of a secret mission, meaning they couldn't just broadcast it to the world. Another teammate wondered if a different guild had already captured the creature, but Murang had heard enough of their chatter and snapped at them to be quiet. Murangshu theorized that it was probably taken by a lone team, which was their term for players who weren't affiliated with a major guild. The creature they were hunting was in fact the rare unicorn. Since no other guild possessed the necessary map fragments, Murang figured there was no way they could have known the unicorn had awakened. Then it hit her. There was a small chance a random team just stumbled upon it inside the Black Abyss and somehow managed to defeat it. Murong Yu agreed with his sister, adding that the dungeon had been acting erratically and the unicorn had woken up far ahead of schedule. He knew she was right, especially since their guild, the Golden Lions, was the only one privy to the unicorn's awakening. Murong Yu suspected the dungeon's difficulty was about to spike, but he couldn't imagine who could have possibly taken down the unicorn. Murong Shu then proposed they should track down every team that had recently entered the dungeon and interrogate them one by one to find who got the unicorn. In fact, she already had her sights set on that arrogant player Lynn. Murang Yu had to remind his sister that the Golden Lion Guild doesn't just attack people without provocation. And besides, whoever managed to defeat a unicorn was definitely no pushover. Secretly, Murang Yu worried that it might have been Lynn after all. Before the argument could escalate, Murang Yu told his sister and the rest of the team that they were heading back to their base camp to figure out their next move. Murong Yu plunged his sword into the ground and uttered the incantation to teleport them back to the guild hall. On the other side of the dungeon, Lin and his team had just stepped into the Black Abyss. To ward off the chill, Li Shu casts her cold resistance buff on the party once again. And right on schedule, Su Qing takes the lead, telling everyone they need to get a move on. They arrive at the usual spawn point for the first dire wolf, and Su Qing is already vibrating with anticipation, ready to smash it to pieces. In a flash, the wolves appear, and Li Wei is stunned to see a pack of 5 charging at them. Even Lin is caught off guard. He never imagined the monster density would jump this much in the very first area. Su Qing, on the other hand, is absolutely ecstatic as she bolts toward the wolves, eager to tear them apart. She shouts to Lu for some buffs, and her companion confirms she's got her covered. Whipping out her device, she unleashes a potent sonic wave that messes with the wolves' hearing, giving Su Qing the perfect window to carve through them with ease. She deals a devastating amount of damage with just one slash and confidently finishes off the pack, leaving Lin thoroughly impressed. He notes that Su Qing's recent upgrades have made her significantly more lethal. As gore drips from her weapon, Suching strikes a dramatic pose declaring she'll confidently destroy her enemies no matter how many there are. Lynn, meanwhile, is still hung up on why there were so many more wolves at the start, but he feels certain the next area will confirm his suspicions. When they reach the next clearing, Lynn can tell something is definitely off. Suching simply tells Liu to keep the power-ups coming so she can take on an even bigger mob. Suddenly, the earth beneath them begins to quake. Liu starts to freak out, but Suching tells her to calm down. Just then, they spot something moving under the snow. A horrifying zombie bursts out from below, but it isn't alone. A second one emerges, and right behind them, a pack of dire wolves led by a massive alpha wolf king appears. Lynn realizes the monsters had been hiding under the snow, and his team has walked straight into a well-laid trap. Liu is panicking, asking her friends what on earth they're supposed to do. Lynn then observes that these attacks are no longer random like they used to be. He starts to suspect the monsters have gained some intelligence, and as if to prove his point, one of the zombies swings a giant hammer at the girls, but Suching yanks them out of the blast zone. They hit the ground hard, but Suching tells them to get up and fast. Lynn and the zombies lock eyes like old rivals, all while wolves begin to encircle him from behind. The girls scream, convinced he's done for, but Lynn calmly waits until the last possible second to activate his buffs. He calls out, summoning his evolved slime companion. Meanwhile, outside the dungeon, onlookers have noticed something is terribly wrong. The ground is shaking violently, and a strange energy is radiating from the dungeon's entrance. In that moment, adventurers are violently thrown out of the dungeon, many of them with missing limbs. A shower of bones is ejected along with them, leaving the officials utterly baffled. It becomes clear the bones belong to deceased adventurers and one of the survivors. His entire lower body missing tells a guard that the dungeon is exploding. That was the last thing he said before succumbing to his injuries, but the guards remain bewildered. They still don't understand what the dying man meant by the dungeon exploding. The guards look around at the carnage with bodies strewn everywhere in a gruesome display. As if that wasn't enough, more bones pour out from inside the dungeon. All at once, the dungeon's difficulty rating changes from a beginner level to an incredibly high-risk one. The guards realize that the dungeon has become so perilous that the current adventurers inside won't be able to handle it. The guards yell at the top of their lungs that they need to inform the mayor about this urgent development. Back inside the dungeon, Lynn stands casually with one hand in his pocket, while ordering his slime to engage the monsters rushing toward him. The slime's appearance completely changes the battle. It instantly melts all the monsters near Lynn, leaving the zombies staring in shock. Every wolf that was about to rip Lynn to shreds has been reduced to a puddle. The slime gives Lynn a hug from behind while staring at the remaining monsters with a look that's both adorable and deadly. Susan and Lee can only gawk, amazed at their teammates' hidden power. Lynn decides to play the part of the hero, telling the girls to fall back while he handles the monsters. They don't argue for a second, both scrambling to take cover behind a large rock. However, Sujing is worried about the sheer strength of the monsters, and she questions if he can truly handle them on his own. Li Shuer, on the other hand, cheers Lynn on yelling for her captain to completely wreck the monsters. This encouragement gets Lynn fired up, and he tells the monsters he's going to beat them so badly that their own mothers wouldn't recognize them. This infuriates the Wolf King, which lets out a furious howl as it charges at Lynn. At the same time, its pack closes in to surround him. Lynn recognizes their attempt to trap him and commands the slime to keep them at bay. The slime engages the Wolf King while the girls watch from afar as Lynn is hit from all sides. Susan can see that the dire wolves and the Wolf King are becoming a major threat. In a pinch, Lynn orders the slime to form a defensive barrier. As the wolves draw near, they try to bite Lynn, but their fangs sink into the slime instead. Surprisingly, this hurts the wolves as they take massive recoil damage. Liu and Suching cheer when they see this. It seems the slime has a corrosive property that damages anything that touches it. Just then, the Wolf King joins the attack and bites the slime without getting injured at all. The girls are shocked to see this and start wondering what they can do to help. Lynn then tells Liu that all he needs from her is consistent healing. Liu follows his order and keeps doing her thing while Lynn is swarmed by the frenzied wolves. Suddenly, Lynn notices the zombies are moving and he realizes they're launching a coordinated attack. This confirms his theory about the monsters being intelligent. Seeing Lynn getting overwhelmed, Liu does what she does best, which is charge into danger without a second thought. However, Suching stops her this time. Liu asks Suching how they're supposed to help Lynn, and Suching says she'll figure something out. Suching then pulls out a potion that she has clearly been saving for a desperate situation. It appears to be an energy drink that boosts physical stats for 1 minute, but it causes the user to take double damage after its effects wear off. Suching ignores the nasty side effects as she prepares to drink it. However, Lynn finally decides it's time for him to handle things himself. He activates his Void Embrace skill, and the girls are stunned as Lynn completely obliterates the wolves that were clinging to him. Lynn manages to take out the Wolf King and its entire pack with a single hit. His eyes glow red as a frightening crimson aura surrounds him. Once the Wolf King is defeated, Lynn absorbs the experience points. While Liu is cheering that Lynn won the fight, Suching is left dumbfounded at how he could take down a level 10 Wolf King so effortlessly. The zombies see that things are going poorly and resort to a surprise skill. They begin the joint skill Hammerstorm by linking up with each other. This skill causes one of the zombies to spin like a whirlwind, shocking Lynn. Even Suching is surprised that zombies in a beginner-level area are capable of using a coordinated joint skill. This is a skill that lets the monsters boost their attack and knockback power since they're linked. Lynn almost gets caught in the spin, but the slime gets him out of the way. However, they can't dodge the second wave and take damage. Lynn figures he's done for if he gets hit one more time. Liu drops to her knees crying and wondering what they can do to stop things from getting worse. Since Suching isn't ready to watch Lynn get knocked out, she decides to drink the energy drink. The effect of the drink starts and Suching begins to change into her pure spirit form, shocking Liu. Suching's final change turns out to be a full-grown giant white bear. Liu can't deal with what she just saw and she passes out on the floor. Suching is impressed by the drink's effect as she never thought it would help her break into her white bear form. Since Lynn is getting hit all over, Suching wastes no time going his way to help. Lynn tries to pull back, but he's already trapped in the spin. Seeing there's no way out, Lynn gives up thinking he's done for. Just as he's about to get smashed, Suching swipes him away from the spin's tight hold. Lynn turns around to see he was saved by Suching, who is fully changed into a bear. Lynn is shocked, but Suching yells at him to get moving. Lynn finally gets to use the bad place hug again. Suching is impressed by the power the guy has. Suching is soon knocked to the ground, and she sees the zombies are about to use the join skill again. She screams to get Lynn's attention. Lynn isn't ready to let the zombie use the join skill again. As he uses the bad place hug on it, he grabs the zombie, putting so much force on it that it bursts. Suching cheers the win, and Lynn says Suching is the real star because she showed up at the right time or he would have been gone. Just then, the double bad effect of the drink starts. The double bad effect hits Suching and right away drops her health points to the last 10. She falls to the ground and Lynn runs to her to check. She coughs up blood and Lynn sees Suching has almost no health points left. He pulls out a drink and gives it to her to help her get her strength back. Lynn lets out a big breath of relief when he sees Suching has gotten out of the bad state. However, he accidentally touches her soft parts while helping her. Lynn knows what he's touching, and this starts his nosebleed. Suching turns around to see Lynn with the nosebleed and right away figures something's wrong. When she finally sees she's naked, she gives Lynn a big hit while calling him a shameless guy. Suching puts clothes on again and looks down at Lynn with a strong look. She says she'll end Lynn if he ever tells anyone about what he saw. She grabs his shirt while yelling at him to show how serious she is. Lynn can't believe Suching is actually shy, and for his own good, he tells Suching he didn't see anything. Suching leaves Lynn, but from her cold look, Lynn can see the girl is super serious. Suching then says they will check on Liu. Lynn, on the other hand, tells Suching he'll take the image he saw to his grave. They run back to where Liu is to see she's still sleeping. Lynn can't believe Liu had the nerve to sleep through everything they just went through. Lynn finally wakes her, and when she opens her eyes, she starts begging not to be eaten. Lynn can't believe how silly she is because she definitely wouldn't be alive if a monster wanted to eat her. Suching tells Liu she has nothing to worry about since all the monsters are taken care of. Liu finally calms down when she hears this, and she jumps to hug Lynn. Liu is glad her friends are alive, and Lynn says their luck is because Suching showed up at the right time to help him. Liu then says they should talk about what they want to do. Lynn points out that the dungeon seems to have gotten harder, and Suching agrees, saying the number of monsters has gone up. Plus, they've gotten stronger than before, too. Liu then asks what their plan is, and Lynn says they should leave the dungeon for now. The girls agree, since there's no point in risking their lives when they're all on the same page. Lynn tries to exit the dungeon, but he suddenly gets blocked. This is when they see the dungeon's difficulty level has gone up from starter to super tough. A cold feeling runs down Liu's body as she sees they might be done for. However, Suching is cool as always. She tells Liu there's no need to be scared since the dungeon only upped its difficulty, not its level. She's pretty sure they can still clear it, and Lynn agrees. Liu is still worried, as she says they're going to have a hard time with the dungeon boss when the low-level monsters are already giving them trouble. Suching then says they should get to level 10 before freaking out. Lin and Su-Ching are both on level 8, while Liu is on level 6. Soon Su-Ching asks Liu to come with her. Liu is shocked they're not staying together, and Lin explains that going separately means they don't share experience points and they'll level up faster. Liu finally gets why they are splitting up, and she says they'll meet back once they've all leveled up. Liu follows Su-Ching while Lin is left to level up on his own. 1 hour later, Lin has taken out many monsters and jumped to level 10 even though he's wiped out. It seems the starter lower world area doesn't let players go past level 10. However, Lin figures he can up the level of his summons without limits. The only bad part is he needs to give some health points to level up his summons. He checks the slime stats and sees the boost increases slowly, and he wonders if this is because of his job. Lin checks his own stats too, and he's gotten a boost in overall stats. His health points are now over 2,000, but his attack power is still under 100. Lin figures life would be easier if he could speed up the hatching of the unicorn. He pulls out the caller book to see if there's a way. Surprisingly, there is a way to tweak it and make hatching faster. He's about to try when he hears a loud bang far away, showing the dungeon boss has woken up. Liu and Su-Ching find themselves in the spot where the boss woke up. It comes from under the snow, and this makes Liu lose her balance. She falls to the ground and almost gets smashed by the boss's spiked club, but Su-Ching pulls her out of danger. However, they can't get far from the boss's big weapon. Su-Ching enters her beast form to brace for the hit from the incoming weapon. She and Liu are thrown far, but Lin gets there just in time to catch them with the slime. He runs to check on them, and Su-Ching says she can't feel her left hand. The boss finally steps out from under the snow looking super scary. Lin can easily see the boss is very strong, and it even looks human. It's a scary monster with 30,000 health points. Su-Ching then tells Lin to run because there's no way he can take on the boss. But Lin squared up to the boss, telling Su-Ching that for them, there was no running away. He was betting on the fact that even on a super tough hard level, they were still just in a beginner's zone. Lin knew the glowing core on the zombie's chest was its weak spot. If they could just shatter that, it would be game over for the big guy. The zombie boss pointed a bony finger at Lin's crew, basically sicking his undead minions on them. Wasting no time, Lin yelled for the slime to kick off its bad place dance skill. The slime made short work of the low-level zombies and wolves before making a beeline for the main boss. To keep his gelatinous buddy safe, Lin immediately activated his full cover protection skill. The slime then cleverly split in two, attempting a pincer move to trap the zombie boss. It went for the ankles, but to Lin's utter shock, the slime got absolutely pancaked into the dirt. Before the zombie boss could bring its fist down for another smash, Lin frantically recalled the slime. A knot of worry tightened in his gut. The slime was completely outmatched. And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, the boss summoned a fresh wave of undead reinforcements. With his main strategy proving totally useless, Lin had to think fast. He decided to risk it all on that new speed spell he'd spotted in a book earlier. The catch: he had to stand perfectly still during the incantation, which the nearby wolves saw as a dinner bell. They lunged for him, but just as their teeth were about to connect, Su-Ching dove in to save his skin, slicing through the monsters. Unfortunately, the effort took a massive toll on her already weakened state. She collapsed in a coughing fit, completely spent. With nothing left to stop it, the zombie boss raised its arms to deliver the final blow to both Lin and Su-Ching. Lin had pretty much lost all hope, seeing no way to block the incoming attack. Then out of nowhere, a protective barrier shimmered into existence over him, and Su-Ching deflecting the zombie's strike. The shield, it turned out, was from Liu. She urged Lin to hurry up with whatever he was doing, warning him that her barrier was paper thin and wouldn't hold for long. Lin raced through the rest of the incantation, praying he could finish, before they were all wiped out. A moment later, the zombie boss shattered the flimsy barrier, and the resulting shockwave sent Liu flying. Meanwhile, the egg was hatching, and the little slime wasn't about to let some oversized zombie ruin the big moment. It bravely latched onto the boss's wrist, preventing it from swinging its colossal arms. Thankfully, Lin completed the spell in the absolute nick of time. The egg erupted in a flash of brilliant light that momentarily stunned the zombie boss. From the glowing egg emerged a unicorn, a sight that sent the zombie boss into a full-blown rage, letting out a terrifying scream. Susan immediately recognized the signs, realizing it was about to enter its second phase. She screamed at Lin to fall back, but he just stood his ground, putting all his faith in the newborn unicorn. The creature's horn began to glow, gathering a ball of pure, holy energy. In that same instant, a layer of frost suddenly encased the zombie boss, freezing it in place and leaving the core on its chest completely exposed. The unicorn took aim and unleashed the beam of light from its horn. The blast pierced straight through the core and shattered it into a million pieces, finally putting the zombie boss down for good. Suching's jaw practically hit the floor. She couldn't wrap her head around how a boss with 30,000 health points got one-shotted. Even Lynn was floored by the unicorn's incredible power. Lynn gave the unicorn a grateful pat, thanking it for saving the day. The slime bounced up behind him, and Lynn could tell it was waiting for its own good job praise. Lynn praised the slime too, telling it that it did great, because without it stalling the boss's attack, they would have all been goners. He then went over to check on the girls. Suching mentioned how she was incredibly impressed that Lynn had managed to save her life yet again. She then added how wild it was that a level 1 summon could take down that monster. Lynn had to agree, admitting he never imagined the unicorn's damage output would be that insanely high. Suching pointed out that the zombie was a dark element monster, while the unicorn was a light and frost-type beast. That powerful elemental advantage was the secret behind the ridiculously high damage it dealt. A system message then popped up. Congratulations for defeating the zombie boss and clearing the starter netherworld area on super tough hard difficulty. Apparently, clearing it on that setting meant they'd get double the standard rewards. They were also getting extra bonuses for clearing the dungeon in record time and for finishing the boss with a single hit. The message said their rewards would be distributed individually. Suddenly, Lynn found himself in a strange mental space where he received his loot, a piece of gear called the Purgatory Soul Box. Despite being legendary, its attack and defense stats were actually negative. Lynn finally read the item's description and learned that after defeating an enemy, he could literally seal its soul, which he could then summon to fight on his side later. It seemed he could also infuse the souls of the departed into any of his existing summoned creatures. Lynn was still trying to process what all this meant when the Purgatory Soul Box suddenly slurped up the soul of the fallen zombie boss. A wicked grin spread across Lynn's face as he realized he was now a soul collector. As the fight finally ended, Lynn snapped back to reality just in time to see a wolf barreling toward him. It tackled him to the ground, and he was about to panic until he saw the wolf transform back into Suching. Suching just laughed, asking him if she gave him a good scare. Lynn admitted she did, saying he thought for a second they were being ambushed by yet another monster. He then asked how in the world she managed a wolf transformation when her form was a spirit cat. Suching just grinned, telling him he wasn't the only one who scored some hidden gear as a reward. Suching then showed Lynn her new necklace, the Phoenix Feather. It was an epic grade item, but it was specifically for the Druid class, granting a double boost to both her attack and speed. Lynn's eyes went wide when he saw it, thinking Suching's reward was way cooler than his. The gear also allowed her to channel the power of the Frostwolf. On top of that, she had 2 other transformation options unlocked, a brown bear and a phoenix. Lynn was way more curious about the phoenix form, but Suching confessed she had no clue what it even did. In any case, she had no intention of using it carelessly, since it probably had some serious side effects. Besides, with the battle over there, was no need to test it out right now. The two of them finally turned their attention to Lou and saw a new purple magic hat on her head. Floating right beside it was a tiny fairy-like creature. Suching and Lynn exchanged a confused look, but Lou just excitedly declared that she finally had the power to keep them all safe. She explained that the hat was her new gear drop, and it seemed incredibly powerful. The item was called the Cyclone's Magic Hat, and it was a radiant-grade piece of equipment. Apparently, it was part of a set that included the hat, a robe, and a necklace. Lynn was taken aback, admitting he'd never even heard of the Cyclone set. Suching hadn't either, but said she'd ask their instructor about it once they returned to school. The hat's passive ability summoned a guardian spirit that automatically tripled the power of all her spells, though its other 2 effects were still locked for now. Lynn glanced at the tiny fairy and figured it must be the Cyclone Spirit itself. He was seriously impressed by the passive effect. An automatic triple power boost was just absolutely broken. Looking at her awesome new gear, Lynn decided the soul box he got really was a piece of junk by comparison. He then gave the unicorn another pat, thanking it again for its perfect timing. Lou sits down to pet the unicorn, while she won't let Suching touch the unicorn's soft body before they start arguing and fighting over the unicorn. Lynn says it's time to head back to the entrance so they can figure out why the dungeon's hard level suddenly jumped. Lynn finally manages to leave the dungeon and they get to the entrance. The fighters at the entrance are all wowed by the beautiful lady in front of them. Lynn is confused about who they're talking about until he turns around to see a gorgeous, stunning lady with long blue hair. Even Lynn loses his composure and gets a nosebleed. The beautiful lady turns out to be the unicorn's human form. Meanwhile, the teacher gets word that someone came out of the dungeon. The teacher first thinks there are more losses, but the messenger says it's the opposite. The teacher is shocked to hear this, and just then a message comes in, congratulating Lynn and his teammates for clearing the dungeon. The unicorn tries to get closer to Lynn, but Lynn says no. However, the unicorn doesn't take no for an answer and moves over to her master. Liu then gets Suqing's attention to what's going on. Being the strict one, she roughs Lynn up again and calls him shameless. After she's done messing him up, Liu helps put a healing spell on him. Lynn thanks Liu for being nice while Suqing is just mean. Suddenly they feel a bad presence walking toward them. The person turns out to be the school principal, Feng Yun. Lynn wonders why the principal is there, while Suqing lets him know his intentions aren't good. While Lynn and Suqing are still trying to figure things out, innocent Liu is already calling out to the principal. Just then, weird figures show up behind them and pull them into the nearby woods before the principal can get to them. This turns out to be Lynn's teacher, and he shushes the three, telling them to be quiet before they get spotted. Suqing gets ready to fight, but Lynn tells her to calm down, saying the guy is his teacher. Lynn then asks the teacher why he suddenly grabbed them. The teacher says a lot of people died in the dungeon, and everyone is pointing their fingers at Lynn. Lynn is shocked when he hears this, and the teacher asks if he made a deal with the unicorn inside the dungeon. Lynn says yes, but he's surprised how the teacher knows. The teacher takes a deep breath when he hears yes, and deep down thinks about old man Feng, figuring the old man really messed things up. Suddenly, the teacher grabs Lynn, saying they're done for. They're still thinking what to do when the principal and his group show up behind them. The principal orders his guys to grab the kids, but the teacher asks for a reason why the kids are being taken when they're clearly school students. It seems the teacher and principal know each other as senior and junior students. The principal then says he's kicking Lynn and his classmates out of school. This shocks the three, but the principal says it again, in case they didn't believe him the first time. Suqing asks the principal why he's kicking them out, but he gives no real reason other than that he's the principal. Lynn is disappointed the principal is kicking them out without even checking the facts. The teacher backs Lynn, telling the principal he can't just grab people without reason. He then adds Lynn is an S-rank talent, which they don't get every day. He asks the principal if he's really okay with losing Lynn, but the principal tells the teacher he can't interfere with his decision to take Lynn and his friends. Just then a strange presence appears, and when they turn, it seems to be a small lady with a butler and a fighter. The lady walks to Lynn, talking about how impressed she is that he's the one who cleared the dungeon. Lynn has no clue who the small lady is, and he quietly asks her by calling her little sister. But this annoys her. She yells out saying she's Jing Yao, daughter of the DuPont royal family. It seems the little lady is a princess. Lynn takes a second to think and says he has no idea who the DuPont royal family is. The principal then tells the princess he already has the suspects in custody and wants to take them, but Jing Yao says there is no need. Lucy says she has a gift for a Black Abyss move scroll because they are planning to take the kids into the Black Abyss. The teacher is shocked when he hears this. It seems he knows about the 100-year hidden lower world area, the Rift Valley Black Abyss, which is supposed to appear soon, but he never thought the royal family already had the scroll. The teacher then says the dungeon is for levels 20 to 50, and since Lynn and his teammates aren't there yet, they'll definitely die if they go in. Jing Yao ignores the teacher and turns to Lynn and his friends, telling them to join her expedition team into the dungeon. As expected, Lynn turns down the offer, saying he's not interested. The principal then adds that Lynn and his friends are students in his school and he has to bring them back. The princess yells at the principal for interrupting, and Lucy reminds the principal he just kicked the students out. The principal tries to fight this, saying before the expulsion is finalized, the kids are still his students. With a threatening aura, Lucy asks the principal if he's going against a royal order. The principal feels the bad vibe from the lady, and this makes him sweat in fear. He then warns Lynn he'll have a lot of eyes on him because he just cleared an underworld area. That's a super tough hard level. Lynn can already see the principal and his team ready to grab him. Just then, Suqing says she'd like to join the princess. Lynn is shocked to hear this, and Suqing explains it to him. She lets him know staying means they'll get caught, but she's ready to take a chance by joining the royal expedition. The princess then turns to Lynn, asking what he plans to do. The teacher tries telling Lynn not to go because he might die in the dungeon. Lynn finally gives his answer, saying he's ready to go. Once Lynn joins, Liu has no choice but to join too. The princess laughs as she wins the fight. Lucy then turns to the principal, telling him to back off and let the students go. The principal then tells his guys to stand down, but the teacher yells at him not to let the kids go. The principal reminds the teacher he just stopped him from taking them earlier, and now he wants him to take them from the princess. He basically tells the teacher to make up his mind and lets him know the kids are on their own now. The fighter with the princess then introduces himself as Captain Zuo Shang. Since the team is assembled, the princess says it's time to head back. A gate shows up to take them from the woods, and the next thing they know, they're at the royal palace. Lynn is wowed by the beauty and look of the palace. Liu then tells Su-Ching she's feeling a bit off. Su-Ching is still trying to figure out what she means when Zuo Shang and Lucy pull their weapons on them. The girls are completely stunned, and the princess just bursts out laughing, but Lynn is no fool. He was ready for whatever she was planning. Before they even know what's happening, the slime zips over and snatches the weapons right out of Lucy and Zhuang's hands. Lynn turns to the princess, basically asking, "All right, what's the game here?" The princess gives him this intense, almost villainous look and admits she's impressed he saw through her little test. Lynn explains that on the way to the palace, Zuo Shang acted all laid back, but his hand was practically superglued to his sword's hilt. Lynn points out it was the same deal with Lucy. The princess, clearly impressed by his sharp observation skills, asks why he recalled his slime when it was so obviously winning. Lynn just says he knows he's on her home turf and a real fight would have no winners. Lynn can easily tell that the maids are more than just maids. They're totally prepared to throw down and protect their mistress at a moment's notice. Besides, he's aware the princess and her crew are leagues above them in strength. He just wanted to make it clear that he and his friends weren't going to be pushovers. Lucy adds that the princess was just trying to see if Lynn was really as capable as rumored. With the test concluded, the princess announces that a meal is ready for them before they all head out for the dungeon. As they're walking through a grand royal corridor, Su-Ching whispers to Lynn that they should consider teaming up to jump Jing Yao and her group, because she's getting a really sketchy vibe. That's when Lynn tells her his earlier move was just for show. He explains to Su-Ching that if the princess's team truly wanted them gone, they would have been toast a long time ago. This news shocks Suing, and Lynn just advises her to go with the flow for now. Lynn then gestures to the portraits on the wall, asking what they are. Shen informs him that it's a visual history of the DuPont royal family. The princess adds that the DuPont royal family was founded 1,000 years ago, and its founder's class was a caller. She continues explaining that during the chaotic Black Abyss event, the DuPont family allied with 3 other major royal houses to seal it. They failed miserably. The founder's soul was shattered into pieces, which in turn severed the link between callers and spirit stones. It sounds like this is the origin story for why everyone thinks being a caller is a useless job. The princess smiles, telling Lynn that he is the first S-rank caller to appear in 1,000 years. They finally reach the dining room, where the girls immediately grab Lynn, whispering that he's the one the royals are after. Liu is worried they're going to sacrifice Lynn to their ancestors or something equally crazy, but Lynn tells them to calm down and stop overthinking it. The team is then completely dazzled by all the opulent furnishings that come with the royal lifestyle. The princess explains that the Black Abyss Rift, a hidden subdimension, appears every 100 years, and it's said to contain clues about the final battle. The princess is certain that Lynn is the key to unlocking the clues they're searching for. Lucy chimes in that while the dungeon's level might be high, she and her team will be right there with them. On top of that, all the loot found inside the dungeon will be his. Zuo then teases Lynn and his friends, saying they can't be all that weak, since they're equipped with some top-tier gear. This immediately piques Lynn's curiosity, and he asks Shan how he could possibly know they have high-grade items. The princess answers, pointing out that the hat Liu is wearing is one of the saints' items from the Saifeng royal family. It's also the most powerful magic hat in the entire Cyclone's Omen set. Liu is absolutely stunned to find out her hat is a legendary artifact. The princess tells everyone they'll discuss more of the specifics on the way to the dungeon. Since they've finished their meal, she says it's time to get going. In an instant, the dining table vanishes and is replaced by a glowing magic circle on the floor. Lucy steps into the very center of the circle to begin the activation. She unleashes a tremendous blast of energy from her body, powerful enough to tear away parts of her clothing. She then activates a scroll with her violet aura as the whole room is flooded with a brilliant, blinding light. Liu and Su-Ching are thrown backward, caught off guard by the ferocious gust of wind. The circle intensified its glow until the light consumed the entire space. A colossal door materialized before them, humming with immense power. The door slowly creaked open, unveiling a swirling vortex. Lucy glanced back at Jing Yao, casually remarking that they'd be waiting for them on the other side. Jing Yao then looked over at Lynn, giving him a gentle nudge and asking calmly if he was ready. He paused for a moment, looking pretty tense. She pressed him gently, asking if he still had doubts about them. Leaning in, she noted that she didn't need to spell out just how tricky his situation was, adding that she hoped he was starting to grasp the bigger picture. Liu quietly asked Su-Ching what they were supposed to do, but Su-Ching was completely frozen with fear, unable to utter a single word. Without any warning, Lynn announced that they were moving forward. The two women blinked, taken by surprise. He gave a slight grin and said that since their potential allies were so strong, sticking with them was the smart play. He told them there was no need to worry, and that he would take care of everything. He promised that as long as he was still breathing, none of them would get hurt. The two ladies got a little flustered by his confident declaration, their steps faltering for a beat. After composing themselves, they began walking toward the glowing portal. At that very moment, inside the Holy Golden Lion Union's headquarters, Yu Hong approached Murong Yu with a grim expression, saying that some bad news had just arrived. He explained a notification had come through. Someone had successfully cleared the hidden dungeon, the Cold Black Abyss, and had even managed to defeat the level 80 Nightmare boss. Shaolin blurted out that it was impossible and demanded to know if it could have been them. Pongi clenched his fists, growling that they not only stole their loot, but also their Nightmare boss rewards, vowing to take them back immediately. Murong Yu cut in sharply, telling them that was enough, and asked why they were acting so rashly when they hadn't even departed from the dungeon's entrance. Shaolin snapped back that Lin was the reason their mission was a failure and challenged his leader, asking if they were just going to let him get away with it. He went silent, his mind heavy with the thought. Then their president suddenly let out a low, unsettling laugh. He admitted he was quite pleased to see their loyalty was burning so fiercely. With a slow, deliberate walk, he entered the room. Everyone immediately lowered their heads in respect. He told them he would offer them a chance to redeem themselves. He held out a teleportation scroll to a hidden dungeon known as the Rift Valley Black Abyss. He said, "Treasures beyond your wildest imagination lie within. Any adventurer who enters and manages to come out alive," he continued, "will see their strength soar to new heights." Murong Yu protested, pointing out that it was a level 1050 dungeon, and the gap in their power was far too wide. They couldn't possibly survive it. The president replied coolly that, according to his intel, several large unions and the 4 royal families would be diving into that dungeon to fight for its riches. He then asked how the Holy Golden Lion Union could possibly afford to sit this one out. The room was plunged into a horrified silence. He remarked that with their current level of power, they were indeed not qualified to challenge the Rift Valley Black Abyss. Then with a faint smirk, he asked, "But what if that changed?" An explosion of dark energy erupted from his body, pulsing through the room like a violent thunderstorm. Mang Yu went rigid, his nerves screaming. The dark aura swirled wildly in the air, creating a powerful vortex that began to tear up the very floor beneath them. Everyone was consumed by the president's energy, their eyes flickering with intensity. The president simply turned and walked away completely calm. When he was gone, the members stood there with grim faces. Mang Yu raised his arm to test the new strength in his veins. With a flick, the wall beside him shattered into debris. Meanwhile, Lin and his team emerged safely on the other side of the portal. He looked at the strange terrain and asked if this was the place, the Rift Valley Black Abyss. Jingyu remarked that she knew she was dealing with a sharp one. It seemed like all those wild tales were true. He blinked in confusion, trying to put things together. She walked over to a rock with casual confidence and sat down. She mentioned that when it came to legends and mysterious stuff, she could help out. She flicked a card toward him easily. It turned out to be the summoning card, Shadow Legion. He muttered that it was ridiculously valuable and asked if she was seriously just handing it over. She shrugged and reasoned that none of them could use it anyway, so it made sense for him to use it now to boost his power. He studied the card closely, thinking hard. Then he shut his eyes with resolve. The card tore apart with a sharp rip. A burst of blinding light exploded outward. Out of nowhere, 3 masked women appeared. He couldn't help but stare, thinking their appearances were impressive. They had curvy figures and fitted suits. He felt a bit overwhelmed and got a nosebleed. Su-Ching called out, telling him to snap out of it. He groaned, saying that as expected from a legendary card, they were massive, then quickly corrected himself, saying he meant powerful. He froze as the trio walked toward him. They addressed him as master, and he waved his hands frantically, insisting they shouldn't do that because he couldn't handle it. Suddenly, Zuosang stiffened with alarm. Spikes crackling with electric energy came flying in fast. He unleashed his dragon's soaring-style horizontal slash, shouting for everyone to stay sharp. Liu and Su-Ching jumped in shock. Lucy called out to Jing Yao, warning her to stay alert. Jingyu remarked that just as she expected, Lin was still a rookie, asking if he hadn't noticed it at all. He snapped his head sideways, alarmed. Su-Ching demanded to know what it was. Zuosang explained that they were Mad Demon Hedgehogs level 30 monsters. Li Shu gasped, but he teased her about panicking, saying this was only the start. The hedgehogs lunged at them in a furious rush. Lucy tensed up instantly. She darted forward and intercepted one cleanly, kicking it right in the chin. Then it exposed another set of jaws hidden in its stomach. A creepy sight. She fired her tool without hesitation. The hit caused a loud explosion that rocked the sand. Meanwhile, Zuosang gripped his handle tightly. He swung once, slicing the beast in two with raw force. Elsewhere, Lynn flinched as another hedgehog erupted from the sand in front of him. He called out to Slime to strike fast, but one of his Shadow Legion jumped instead. Her hammer raised high. She brought it crashing down on the hedgehog's head, slamming the creature hard into the ground. Lynn was in awe as he watched the Shadow Army warrior defeat the hedgehog. Meanwhile, two hedgehogs were charging toward Jingyao. She lifted her hands and released energy, creating a barrier that blocked their attacks. Lynn asked if it was a protective shield, and if she was a defensive type, but then she clenched both fists. A huge explosion occurred and everything was engulfed in flames. She then hopped off the huge rock. She said her class is a high-level psionicist. When she asked why he was so curious about her, he wondered if she could read his mind. He looked behind him and saw Su Qing worrying about Li Shu, who had fainted. Lucy then called him, saying she knew he had a lot of questions, but the most urgent task was to solve the current problem. He was puzzled and asked what it was. A huge wild boar was charging toward them. It was the level 30 elite Bristle Boar King. Su Qing said that since it was a level 30 elite monster, adventurers needed to be 5 levels higher to defeat it. Li Shu asked if it was too late to go back. At that moment, the Boar King released a dark aura while charging at them. Zuosang quickly stepped forward and drew his sword, using it to stop the Boar King's charge by its tusk. Lucy jumped behind it and fired, but her projectiles just bounced off its thick fur. Jingyao then released energy from her palm, creating a powerful explosion. Lynn and the others watched as smoke spread through the area. The Boar King emerged from the smoke with only a small amount of health lost. Su Qing said it would take at least 2 hours if they kept fighting like that. Lynn was worried, seeing that Zuosang's hands were trembling. He wondered if that thing was so powerful that even the royals were helpless against it. Zuosang was already exhausted and sweating. Jingyao noted that their attacks had no effect. She explained that this was why they brought him there. Lynn asked if it was really because of him. She said there is only one way to defeat that defensive monster. Break its armor. Zuosang and Lucy were still holding off the Boar King while she explained. Lynn said he understood because the Ink Shadow Army is omnipresent, and only they could penetrate the Boar King's hair armor and break it from the inside. Jingyao confirmed he was right, so he was the only one who could defeat it. Lucy suddenly called out that they couldn't hold on much longer. Jingyao noted that controlling the moving army to change its form required strong mental force, and back then her grandfather could only do so much. Lynn said he knew. He asked Su Qing and Li Shu to protect him. Su Qing transformed, while Li Shu gave them a buff. The Shadow Army quickly charged at the Boar King. They moved around it, acting as a distraction. One of the Shadow Army soldiers jumped over it, wielding a huge hammer. She swung it powerfully and slammed the Boar King against the ground. Jingyao said he actually learned it all on his own and enhanced the Ink Shadow weapon. The rest of the Shadow Army joined in and bombarded the Boar King with attacks. The Boar King was agitated. Soon it was sprawled on the ground, defeated. Jingyao remarked that there was no way asking if it had been taken down instantly. Lin commented that he never imagined the Shadow Army would be that effective. Susong questioned if it was real, insisting it couldn't be. Lucy remarked that unless they had bonded for centuries, there was no way he could command the Shadow Army with such precision. Jingyao cleared her throat and said it had to be a coincidence, admitting to herself that she still hadn't told him the Shadow Army possessed scouting abilities, as their shadowing could cross any terrain. It was hands down the best recon technique in existence, and so far no one had been able to pull it off. Just then, one of the shadow soldiers materialized and handed Lin a map. Lin turned to Jingyao, asking her to repeat what she'd just said, but she just fired back, wanting to know how on earth he'd already drawn the map. He pressed her, asking why the map wasn't complete and where the missing pieces were. She sighed, explaining that the Black Abyss in the Rift Valley only opens up once every 500 years. She went on to say it's so insanely difficult that no one's ever gotten a full map. Even his Shadow Army, being too low level, could only scout about 3,000 meters deep. Still, she admitted that was the most detailed map anyone had managed to chart in centuries. Then she wondered aloud if this could be the fulfillment of the prophecy. She leaned in to get a better look at him, and when their eyes met, he gave a little nod. She asked what level his summoning book was. He blinked at her, completely lost, and asked what she was talking about. Lucy chimed in, explaining She means the beginner's summoning book you're supposed to get when you register with the Summoner Association. So you don't have one, she pressed. He just shot back. What's a Summoner Association? A Sonars, before adding, I mean, I have a book, but my teacher gave it to me. Zuo cut in skeptical. Wait, you're telling me you beat the Cold Abyss on nightmare difficulty with that busted old relic? Could you be the genius from the rumors? Jing Yao then said she had a book on her and offered it to him. Here, take this. Lynn thanked her, then sheepishly asked, okay, great, but how do I use it? Just try channeling your magic into the book, she instructed. He asked, so just pour my mana into it. And what's supposed to be inside this jewel? As soon as his mana hit it, the jewel erupted in a fiery red light, and Jing Yao froze, completely stunned. Instantly, they all hailed him as the Lord Summoner, pledging their eternal loyalty. Lynn just staggered back, looking totally bewildered. All of a sudden, the book burst into a blinding red glow, leaving Su Qing and Li Shu staring in utter shock. Then it shot right up into the air. What is happening? Lynn shouted. Glowing text started to form in the air before him, and through it he could see visions of countless summoned creatures. He remarked that the book was a database of every summon. He froze when he came to a certain page. It was a detailed file on the devil's slime. He noted that the book had every single detail about the creature. Next, he found the entry for the ice unicorn. He was muttering to himself about how the book could basically catalog all his summoned beasts when Su Qing called out to him. He realized it was basically a Wikipedia for summoned creatures. Is something wrong? Jing Yao asked, breaking his concentration. I'm good, he replied, then gestured for them to get up. All right on your feet. Now tell me what this book really is. She admitted they didn't actually know how to use it either, just that it was a relic left behind by an ancient sage. Apparently, after some huge battle way back, when all the knowledge about summoning was lost and the summoners themselves slowly faded into history, for 5 centuries, the book changed hands until her grandfather stumbled upon it. He treasured it more than anything and dedicated his whole life to studying it. And after all that work, he only managed to get the jewel to give off a faint little shimmer. Lucy pointed out, and get this, the former king only understood a tiny fraction of that book's power, and he was still one of the strongest masters in the land. Jing Yao added that it represented the one and only chance for summoners to regain their power after the great catastrophe. It was the former king's tireless efforts that earned the DuPont royal family its respected name. Before he passed away, he searched for a summoner worthy enough to inherit his legacy, but sadly he ran out of time. After he died, the neighboring nations started getting bold. That's why we've been looking, Lucy explained. We found you, and we're hoping you'll lend us your strength. Jing Yao declared, if you, the Lord Summoner, agree to help us, then I, the princess of the DuPont family, swear that our entire royal line will serve you. Lynn gave a little smile. Funny how you were testing me just a minute ago, and now you're asking for my help. You're right, she admitted, bowing her head. Please punish me as you see fit for my disrespect. Lucy quickly interjected, please, you have to forgive us. We've been searching for a successor for years, but every candidate has been a powerless fake or a total disappointment. The royal family has exhausted its resources on this search with nothing to show for it, Lucy continued. We couldn't risk another gamble. Be quiet, Jing Yao snapped. Lynn then raised an eyebrow. And you're not worried I might be a fake just like the others? Not at all, Jing Yao answered without hesitation. Because in the last century, no one else has been able to make that jewel glow as brightly as you did. My grandfather once said, she explained, that whoever could make the book accept them as its master would become the new king of the DuPont family. Su Qing then chimed in, so does that mean no one else even tried? Oh, plenty of people tried, Zuo explained, but every single one of them had already bound themselves to some low-tier summoning book. Once a summoner binds to a book, they can't bind to another one until they reach the next rank. Lucy added that they even tried to force a bond once, but it was a complete disaster. That's when it clicked for Jing Yao. You never registered with the Summoner Association, she said, which is why you were able to bond directly with this one. So you're saying I earned this? Lynn asked. Not exactly, Jing Yao replied gravely. If the summoning book doesn't accept a person, that person dies. Wait, so I would have just kicked the bucket if it failed? He asked, stunned. At that, they all started pleading for his forgiveness again. Oh, for crying out loud, get up, he said, exasperated. I'm not going to punish you, just stop kneeling for everything. Jing Yao got to her feet and then asked, if I may ask, what does the summoning book say? He blinked, caught off guard for a moment. He almost forgot about his very attentive subordinate. A grin spread across his face. You know, he teased. You're a mind reader. Why don't you just take a look inside my head? He thought it would be a fun little test of her abilities. Oh no, I could never, she refused instantly. I wouldn't dare intrude on your mind. He just leveled a gaze at her. Consider it a test of your loyalty. Do it now. With no other option, she complied. The instant she looked into his mind, she recoiled as if she'd been struck. A horrified scream tore from her throat as she collapsed to the floor, completely overcome with a terror so profound she lost all control. Jing Yao, oh, Lucy cried, rushing over as she saw her trembling uncontrollably. In her brief glimpse, Jing Yao had seen 3 horrifying devil slimes latched onto Lynn, and behind them all a monstrous pair of sinister eyes loomed in the dark. What's wrong? What did you see? Lucy asked in a panic, but Jing Yao was too petrified to answer. Spit it out, Lynn commanded. What did you see? A red demon descending on our world. She stammered out, one who will bring about a great revolution. He rolled his eyes. I told you to read my mind, not write my epic biography. But I saw it, she blurted out. There was a red figure standing right behind you. He just chuckled. You're calling that thing the devil. Seriously, stop trying to act cute. No, it's true, she insisted. My grandfather warned me that the appearance of the red devil would throw the entire world into chaos. She looked at him with wide eyes. Is it possible the DuPont royal family has only existed for this moment? To serve you, you're completely delusional, he said, totally bewildered by her dramatic proclamation. Then he muttered under his breath, Shoot, I almost forgot to collect that elite monster's soul. The Boar King's soul drifted out from its body and Jinga shrank back again in fright. He noted that he already possessed 2 elite monster souls and pondered their effects. Suddenly, the aristocrat rushed toward him, her desperate gesture speaking of devotion louder than words. Seized by her belief in destiny, she vowed to follow him through fire and water, leaving him in complete shock. Jealousy flared up with renewed vigor, and the young lady boldly asserted her rights to him, calling her rival a commoner. The insult hit home, and Suching exploded in rage, unable to bear such humiliation. Lynn tried to separate them, and the aristocrat, with a victorious look, agreed to retreat, but only for a while. Tired of the drama, the young man demanded that Jing Yao reveal the true reason for their risky expedition. A sudden attack from the shadows nearly ended his life, but his faithful slime companion took the blow. An ominous laugh echoed through the gorge, and the boy realized they had been ambushed by a new unknown enemy. Their longtime rival Xiaolan from the Golden Saint Lion Guild appeared on the scene, and her appearance did not bode well. The deadly archer drew her bowstring, her gaze burning with a thirst for revenge for a past defeat. She released a deadly arrow, confident that this time luck had turned against her sworn enemy. Her grin revealed her true goal. She desired the legendary crystal of the Shattered Gorge. The guy was completely confused because this was the first time he heard about the mysterious crystal everyone was hunting for. The aristocrat gathered her strength, her aura, flaring with blue flames as she realized their enemy was incredibly powerful. The faithful servant took out her heavy weapons without hesitation, ready to engage in combat with the formidable opponent. Projectiles bounced off the archer, her body enveloped in an ominous purple aura of invulnerability. Shaolin's wild laughter echoed throughout the gorge, leaving the maid in shock. She showed off her obsidian bracelet, which made her invulnerable to any physical damage. Lynn realized the woman in front of her was no longer that weak opponent, but a real monster in human form. Gathering all her dark energy, the girl prepared to unleash her most deadly attack on them. In desperation, the maid tried to defend herself, but her tempered steel proved helpless against the flow of pure magic. A cry of pain pierced the silence as a hail of magical arrows hit her defenseless body. Everyone screamed her name in horror, and her mage friend tried with all her might to cast a healing spell. Overcoming the pain, the wounded heroine thanked fate for her endurance, which saved her. The guy couldn't believe such a jump in power, because his faithful ally was defeated with one blow. Shaolin offered them a deal their lives in exchange for the defenseless Lynn. The enraged swordsman rushed into the attack, unable to tolerate such a humiliating offer. 2 deadly skills collided in a blinding flash, shaking the very fabric of reality. His destructive blow proved powerless against her void arrow, and he flew back defeated. She reveled in her victory, mocking their attempts at resistance. The young man realized she had reached an unimaginable level of power, and asked his new ally for advice. The aristocrat was struck by a terrible realization. The only way to achieve such power was to make a deal with dark forces. She recalled ancient legends about a ritual that grants unprecedented power in exchange for an immortal soul. The archer confirmed their guess with a grin, declaring that their knowledge would not save them. Gathering all her dark power, she prepared to deal the final blow. A hail of deadly arrows fell upon them, leaving no chance for escape. The young man stepped forward, his aura flaring with dark flames ready to engulf any threat. The archer realized that this aristocratic girl was the key to victory, and she would have to use her most dangerous technique. She knew her body could only take 3 of those shots, but that should be enough to finish them off. With a grin, she took aim at him, confident that even one blow would be enough to defeat him. All her rage and hatred were concentrated in one shot. A deadly volley rushed toward them. But at the last moment, the young lady stood in its way, ready to take the blow herself. Her body erupted in blue-violet flames, and she easily deflected all the arrows. Much to the archer's amazement, gathering the reflected energy, she sent it back, unleashing her enemy's own deadly power on her. Shaolin fell to her knees, unable to believe her most powerful attack was not only repelled, but also turned against her. The aristocrat was in a panic, unable to believe she survived after repelling such a powerful attack. Rage distorted the aristocrat's face because this impostor dared to challenge her. After recovering from the shock, Shaolin vowed that this time her main target, Lynn, would not escape. Suddenly, her ghostly double appeared from the shadows, preparing to deliver a treacherous blow to her back. In a desperate attempt to defeat him, she rushed at him with a dagger, but the guy had foreseen this move. His magic cube absorbed her soul, and she realized with horror that her own power had turned against her. In the chaos of battle, their mage friend managed to heal the wounded servant, not believing in the miracle. Suching threw herself into his arms in relief, happy that he had once again emerged unscathed from a dangerous fight. The noblewoman noted with interest that his victory only confirmed his status as the chosen summoner of the prophecy. The young man looked with disdain at the helpless heiress, disappointed by her inability to block even one blow. The aristocrat clumsily tried to justify herself. Embarrassed by her prolonged embrace, the young man jokingly asked how long she planned to hold him. Flushing with embarrassment, Su Qing reluctantly let him go, but her gaze spoke volumes. The boy admired the power of the absorbed soul, but a shadow of doubt crept into his heart. His worst fears were confirmed when he saw the cooldown timer. Realizing his new power wasn't unlimited, he reflected with anticipation on the power the soul of the defeated Boar King possessed. The girl interrupted his thoughts, hurrying him to take the loot before other adventurers noticed. He remembered her words and curiously asked what the mysterious second transformation actually meant. Images of the archer flashed through his mind, both her normal appearance and the demonic form she gained through the dark ritual. The aristocrat bitterly confirmed that it was this transformation that gave her the strength to defeat them so easily last time. She led them forward, promising to reveal all the secrets of the second transformation on which their lives now depended. Meanwhile, over in some frozen wasteland, another group was in the middle of a super shady ritual to call on some ancient power. A big bloody magic circle flared to life in the snow, pretty much announcing that something old and cranky was on its way. The ground started to shake, and then this thing began to emerge from a lake of blood, leaving the warriors completely stunned. As the red mist swirled, a figure walked right out of it. It was Shaolin, and she was totally panicking. She immediately started pleading with Captain Murong, insisting she had nothing to do with this whole mess and was just as surprised as he was. Murong Yu just sneered, asking what good she was if she couldn't even take down some rookie summoner who was barely a few levels in. He then hit her with some kind of painful punishment, making her scream and beg him to let her go. Murong Yu eventually stopped, reminding her that if it wasn't for her contract with the Lord of the Abyss, she'd have been toast a long time ago. Red energy crackled in his hand as he told her he was giving her one final shot. He warned her that if she blew it this time, she'd literally become Monster Chow for the Abyss. A doll suddenly materialized out of that swirling red energy. As Murong Yu turned to leave, Shaolin managed a weak "thank you" for the second chance. She quickly let him know that Monsieur was already en route to the burial ground, adding that this time success was their only option. Failing was not an option. Murong Yu just gave her a chilling stare before walking off. Shaolin kept her mouth shut, but on the inside she was absolutely fuming, promising herself that this time she would personally destroy Lynn. Meanwhile, back with the main squad, they were pushing deeper into the abyss. Lynn couldn't help but marvel, wow, how can a plant even grow in a place this barren? Lysa got super excited, pointing out that it was spirit purple grass, a top-tier healing herb that typically goes for a crazy amount of cash. She was totally amazed to see it just growing wild. But Jing Yao casually told Lisa that in this dungeon a plant worth hundreds of gold is about as special as dandelions, and its only purpose is to act as a life support system. Hearing that just about blew Lynn's mind. Jingyo explained that they had finally arrived at their target, the hidden dungeon of the Rift Abyss. She nodded towards the strange plants, revealing that the master of this place was once a legendary human hero from the first war against the Abyss. Lynn immediately asked what the catch was, but Jing Yao just said it would be better if he saw it with his own 2 eyes. She finally revealed that all the spirit herbs here were corrupted by a dark power, so you couldn't even sell them. Just then, Lysa tried to grab one of the mushrooms, but it vanished into thin air. Pushing further in, they came across a whole field of these mushrooms. That's when Jing Yao finally spilled the beans on the dark secret of this place. She explained that the legendary second job advancement was nothing but a trap. It was a scheme by the Black Abyss Lord to drain the life energy from hopeful adventurers. Apparently, that woman and all the original heroes had been turned into a power source for the Lord, which explained all the strange phenomena. The Abyss Lord basically hijacked their power to dangle a fake second chance in front of regular people looking to level up. That's when Su Qing noticed a woman literally bound to a tree and asked what her deal was. Jing Yao's answer was chilling. Anyone who completed the so-called second job advancement had their soul ripped right out of their body. Plus, if they dared to disobey, they could be snuffed out instantly. Lynn looked at Jing Yao and asked, "You knew all this the whole time, didn't you? Is this why you dragged me all the way out here?" Jing Yao didn't say anything. She just reached out and grabbed Lynn's hand. Su Qing then looked at Lynn and said, "Well, it looks like it's up to you to fix this." When Lynn asked how Jing Yao explained that only a summoner could extract the final remnants of spiritual power from the original heroes' souls, which was the key to wrecking the Abyss Lord's entire operation. The second Lynn touched the woman, a talisman just poofed into existence in front of him, leaving him totally confused. Lucy explained that they were looking at none other than Ms. Jiangqing Shu, the legendary priest from the very first generation of heroes. Jingyu remarked that an S-rank summoner's mental power was strong enough to instantly create spirit stones, though she admitted she hadn't expected his to show up in the form of a talisman. Just then, all the spirits in the area went completely haywire, shocking the whole team. Lynn yelled for everyone to get back, but the nearby plants suddenly unleashed a cloud of toxic mist. The team immediately prepared for a fight. The tree woman let out a roar of fury and began forming a massive sphere of energy. She flung the energy ball right at the party. They scrambled to block it, but the force of the blast still slammed Lynn and Jing Yao into a wall. "What's happening?" Lynn sputtered and Jing Yao yelled back, "Quit yapping and give me your spiritual energy, hurry." Lynn blushed and asked how exactly he was supposed to do that. She looked at him in disbelief and said, "You don't know what mana replenishment is. Just hurry up." While Lynn was still scratching his head, the tree woman was already winding up for another massive energy blast. Su Xiang jumped in front of everyone, with his sword out bracing for the hit. He used every bit of his power to hold it back, shouting to Jing Yao, "I can't keep this up for long." Realizing they were out of time, Jing Yao just said, "To heck with it," and kissed Lynn directly. Lynn was completely stunned, his brain short-circuiting as he thought about how sweet it was. In that moment, a blinding light flared up. Lisa blushed and told Su Qing to check it out. Jing Yao shoved Lynn aside and announced that playtime was officially over. With just a point of her finger, she stopped the massive energy ball dead in its tracks. Everyone's jaws dropped at her insane level of power. Lynn, meanwhile, was wondering if she had really just siphoned off all his spiritual energy. The tree woman tried to attack again, but Jing Yao simply told her there was no room for an old relic like her in this new era, and that it was time for her to disappear. She clenched her fist, and a brilliant light constricted around the tree woman, causing her to cry out in agony. Jing Yao then turned to Lynn and casually remarked that she was surprised his mental strength was so potent. In an instant, all the mushrooms in the area withered into dust. Enraged, the tree woman let out a final massive shockwave of power that struck Jing Yao, injuring her seriously. Lynn immediately sent his slime to catch her. The little guy snatched Jing Yao out of the air and brought her down to the ground safely. Lynn joked to Jing Yao that after the nice bonus she just gave him, it was only fair that he take it from here. He then faced the tree woman and declared that relics of the past ought to be taken care of by people from the present. He called forth his 2 spirits. The tree woman screamed and conjured one last enormous energy ball. Lynn shouted for everyone to clear out as she launched the attack right at him. Right before the sphere could connect, Su Qing transformed into her beast form and jumped in the way to protect him. She caught the massive ball with her own 2 hands as Lu supported her with magic from the rear. Together they managed to completely destroy the sphere, and Su Qing reverted to her normal self. Completely exhausted, she urged Lynn to hurry up and attack, while there was an opening. Lynn immediately ordered his slime to go for it. With the slime running interference, Lynn leaped onto his unicorn and soared into the air. He then unleashed the Boar King's spirit, which slammed its horns right into the tree woman, exposing some strange markings all over her body. Jingyao shouted that it was the Dark Core and told Lynn to destroy it immediately. The tree woman launched a counterattack at Lynn, but he dodged it. She shouted that insignificant humans couldn't stop the march of the devil and tried to strike Lynn again. Just before it hit, Suqing blocked it in her new form, urging Lynn to hurry and do something. Lynn leaped off his unicorn, and the unicorn transformed into its human form, shocking the tree woman. The unicorn woman attacked with blinding speed, shattering the dark core. A dark spirit exited the tree woman's body, leaving everyone stunned. Lynn told the slime to attack again, but the tree woman quietly thanked them for rescuing her. Lynn started walking toward her. Jingyao told him to stop, but he assured her he'd be safe. The tree woman told Lynn she had been waiting for him. Before he could process that, she kissed him, shocking the whole team. She began glowing with a bright light, telling him the world still needed saving and that she would give him her last bit of energy. Before Lynn could ask what she meant, she told him to go to the dark abyss of the forest to find the answers he sought. The tree binding her was destroyed, and a yellow pill appeared in Lynn's hand, which he instantly absorbed. His stats skyrocketed. He leveled up 10 times in one go, and his beast storage capacity increased. The slime approached Lynn, and he realized she wanted to sacrifice her current form to advance. She nodded. Lynn agreed to help her level up. A magical circle appeared on the ground, and after a burst of energy, the slime evolved into a human-like girl. Lynn was totally flustered by the transformation. As the slime girl hugged him, Lynn jokingly complained that everyone else got cool beasts while he just kept getting beast girls. Suddenly, Liu shouted for Lynn to come quickly, because Suqing was fading away. Liu reminded him that after transforming into a phoenix, there were severe side effects. Jingyao stepped in, saying it looked serious, but the royal healers could handle it. But before she could finish, arrows flew toward them, and one struck Li Shu. And with this intense scene, this video, and the Manhwa chapter end, I've explained all the chapters for you, even the ones that were originally in Chinese. If you want to see the next episodes, let's aim for 5,000 likes on this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. As soon as the new chapters drop, I'll upload the update. Catch you in the next video.